Is time. Hello. Hello, all. Hello, one and all. I know you will gradually appear as you get your notifications. And of course, we will have folks joining us not right in the moment, but we are back to Chimney Cam because this is about the time where you might start to expect to see the smoke. The Vatican helpfully also gives kind of clues to that, like they will stop having footage of people milling about St. Peter's and random statues. Well, not random, but
Well, we
lots
had
of
a whole
statues.
hour and a half last night of just the
It was a
chimney.
good,
So
nearly 2 hours.
they
Yes.
did not give us a good clue.
Well, they, for what it's worth, the first half hour of that, they were not focused on the chimney. So if they weren't focused on the chimney, we would know it's nowhere near close.
Yeah,
I,
that's true.
I,
Hello, everyone popping in.
hey, yeah. Barry, Simon, welcome, welcome. I do expect, my guess is that the longer wait last night had to do with the fact that apparently there is a specific provision in the Apostolic Constitution, Universi Dominici Gregis, which governs these things. That basically, after the doors are closed, the cardinals have an opportunity to kind of be like, "All right, anyone have any, you know, things that they need us to talk about kind of before we get to voting, any sort of procedural objections or anything, once they've got that privacy there." So they had been addressing some of those things in the general congregation, sort of the meetings of the cardinals beforehand. But if I had to take a guess, I would say it's possible that maybe there was some of that raised and apparently addressed because they got around to the voting. But it's also possible that it was just the fact that there is an unprecedented number of cardinals voting in conclave, and 80% of them have never done so before. So you would expect a bit of a learning curve. But they certainly got to it this morning, knocking out apparently both votes. Almost before I would have had the live stream, we would have been 3 minutes in this morning.
The second one,
Fortunately,
the 5 a.m. one.
fortunately I started the earlier edition just in case there had been white smoke on the first ballot, which would have led to sooner smoke. Also, yes, this is Guppy. He's cute.
Hello, Guppy.
Hello, Guppy.
He's helping me today because Mrs. Popular History is actually lunch ladying. So the works of mercy continue. People's bellies still need filled. So yes, I will. I will be ducking out for a little bit here in about 20 minutes, just to go get William from the school bus, and then he will join the tablet party, such as it is.
The tablet party.
Yes,
I understand.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Guppy. But can he ride his scooter in the house?
Well, he is voting for the cardinal that tells him he does not need to take naps.
Yes, that he doesn't have to have naps.
Yes, I mean I think he would be willing to support the ride the scooter in the house proposition that has been placed before the college, but that is not his primary focus. Right now, his primary focus, I think, is press the buttons. So we will probably have Guppy go on a couch watch and see if there's a Pope appear on his tablet. Hello. Folks are coming in. If you are new to the feed, or if you're not new to the feed but have forgotten, there is a little side game, a side hustle that we are doing called Adopt a Cardinal. So I am putting a link in the chat. That link
It's not
includes...
a hustle. We're not making any money off of it.
Oh yes, that's right. I forgot. You're not making any money off of it.
Yet.
So the Adopt a Cardinal.
If we wanted to make money, we'd have to go to one of those sports betting sites and put our cardinal in there.
It's true. There are ways to do that. There is certainly betting going on for the Cardinals. I can tell you that much. I am not participating. I can also tell you that. But we've got our own form of a little bit of money-free fun, in the sense of you can choose a cardinal, put their name in the chat. If someone else has already chosen your cardinal, you will not be the one assigned to that cardinal unless it happens to be someone like my cat or one of my children, in which case there's an asterisk next to the name. So those names are still available. But there are 2 tabs on the sheet. One of them is for the schedule for future Smokewatches, so you can keep an eye on that. And of course, if you're subscribed to Pontifex or Popular History YouTube, you will get that automatic notification when we go live, as we will be doing frequently, at least until we see white smoke, right? Of course, once there's white smoke, we will automatically shut off the live feed and just not offer any sort of insights whatsoever. I think that's the plan for that.
Andy would like Gretch.
Gretch. I keep thinking Gretch is taken. So
Gretch is taken.
Yeah. So Andy, you will need to go fish. Yes. Fortunately, there's not like a limited number of chances. Gretch is taken, but I don't see a name next to Gretch. Why is there no name next to Gretch? I'm going to put your name next to Gretch, and just know that if we go back through and we realize that someone did have a prior claim and they're pressing it. Speaking of pressing things, Guppy wants to press the button to turn off the computer, so we will
not
be
that button,
addressing
Guppy.
this situation. Yeah, again. But yes, so we will go ahead and put you down for Gretch since I don't see a name next to him.
Oh, Andy already claimed it.
Oh,
but he
okay.
didn't write it down.
Okay. Yep. Well, that's why we have this as the feed being the preferred, so that way we can fix our oopsies. So yes. So I was doing that first feed. I was doing some stuff on mobile, and it turns out that it did not retain everything. So I appreciate you, Andy. Thank you for understanding. Yes. So getting you now. I was like, a lot of Gretch fans. Turns out it's one Gretch fan who is not
very persistent Gretch fan.
Hey, sometimes you got to press for it. When
Yes.
Gretch is elected, man.
I told Mom that she got LaCroix, and my mom was like, "He's supposed to be a good one."
Yeah, I've seen him on some lists, which is kind of surprising because I think he was the one that was temporarily removed from ministry for a hot minute there due to accusations.
Yeah.
But apparently very thoroughly cleared. So
Alrighty, guys.
Right. Guppy is translating to the
Hi,
couch room.
Roberto.
Bye,
Roberto.
Conference. For real now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm kicking out both Guppy and Roberto.
But not for the same space. They're not going to the same spot.
They might be doing the same thing if Roberto is going off to eat nori. So I will be back.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's just me now, and there's no seagulls to commentate on. Thank you, Marie. I appreciate it. Pope Seagull. Philip and Joanne are not here this morning, nor are Philip and Joanne's child that we didn't name. Hi, Ethan. Hello. Greg walked away. It's just me. Yeah, there was a little fledgling seagull last night at some point. That's right, the whole chat is here. It's not just me. There's everybody else in the chat. I don't have a lot of thoughts on the Chicago city skyline, Ethan. I think it's cute, but other than that, it is a lot of buildings. There's one particular building I wish would not be there, but well, I guess it could be there. It just needs a giant name taken off of it, and then it'd be much better. Oh my God. Imagine if we got the white smoke. I'd have to text Brie immediately and be like, no, come Brie, come here. Oh yeah, no, the giant name is still on that building in downtown Chicago. In fact, the city of Chicago put up like ordinances now where you cannot put giant names on your building. But since his is grandfathered in, it still has his giant name on the building. Okay, good. Philip and Joanne's baby bird is now named Innocent. Hello, Greg.
Baby bird is innocent.
Yes, the baby bird, because we got Philip and Joanne and then their baby, who is Innocent.
Ah, I'll get you guys some of the crowd noises because we know that the crowd likes to do a clippity clap and so
gold
forth.
cheer.
Yeah, they're very big bird fans.
Oh, do I go to Portillo's? Yes, periodically we go to Portillo's. There's one maybe like 4 blocks away from me. But also I'm in the suburbs. Oh, chocolate cake shake. I got one once. Have you seen these chocolate cake shakes, Greg?
No, what's up
Okay.
with that? It sounds good.
So they take a chocolate shake and then they take a piece of chocolate cake and then they blend them together.
Okay.
It is literally a chocolate cake shake.
I mean, I like a good like malted shake, so that sounds along my lines. Like if I can eat my shake with a fork, that's pretty good. And if my cake is as wet as possible, that's usually also good. So
I mean, it's good, but like I shared it with 3 people and I was still dead.
oh, I could manage. Although I've got a size advantage.
And like at a certain point, the big chunks of cake are all that's left at the bottom, like soggy chunky cake, which chocolate cake is delicious in any iteration. But having a whole bottom of soggy chocolate cake is just a lot.
Yeah, I could see how that would be like logistically a problem. Let's see. So I don't know, probably if you've already answered this one, you can stop me. But are we getting white smoke this afternoon? Or are we headed in day 3 in the black? I would say it would be slightly surprising if we had it this afternoon, but not incredibly shocking. Like this is the first one that I've said it would be. This is the first one where I'm not going to actively dampen expectations, I'll say.
Oh yeah, okay. So this is the first one where it's more likely we would get white smoke, but also
yes, it would not be a shock.
Yeah.
Because the first few ballots were not what things were looking like. First ballot has happened in history, but unusual, especially just with the sheer number of cardinals and the sheer number of possibilities. I will say, as things progress, if there is no white smoke today, then that would probably not be a good sign for the original kind of front runner, Cardinal Paroline. So I would expect, if he is not elected today, then that star would kind of fall, and so you'd see something more likely like Tagle or one of the other contenders. All right, I get to go back to the couch again.
All right. Oh, I do not know British TV presenter Bobby Seagull, but if you say he's an unmarried Catholic male, then he could be Pope Seagull. Oh gosh, which one did he say? Well, we can ask him when he comes back. I'm sure I have a list. Parolin is what he said. Who is Italian. Yes, thank goodness there's lists. Oh yeah, the prophecies. Oh goodness. We're at an episode coming out about that eventually here. His name is Pietro, which I guess is sort of Peter. I love this shocked face. I have not been to Rome. I have not. It's on our bucket list. Bree's gonna take me sometime. Not in the Jubilee here, clearly, but sometime we're gonna go to Italy. I didn't have my passport last year, so we went to Hawaii, which was fun. But yeah, sometime we'll go to Rome.
Just for what it's worth, Bree is currently getting stabbed repeatedly, I believe. She's had
I thought that was yesterday.
It's an
Oh, it
ongoing
might be
process. She
Yeah.
still had some spots left. I actually saw in progress update because I was like, oh hey, how you
Mhm.
doing with all the stabbing? And she's like, yeah, doing well.
She
Still got
might
some
be
more
very
stabbing. Allegedly, the hard part's over. So
Yeah. Which is what? Like the well of her elbow?
yes, yeah. So like the inside, portion of any
Mhm.
yes, it's gonna be a bit more tender. So Paraline is the one that I said would kind of be the front runner going in according to most expectations because he was kind of Pope Francis's right hand man. So if they were just voting for straight continuity, which is going to be the easiest choice to have consensus on because you typically will kind of know who would represent that, whereas change can go in many directions. Cardinal Tagle was the other one that I had mentioned as a likely possibility whose star would be rising as Paraline's sort of falls a bit as the election continues. Just because when you go into an election as the front runner, it's not a great sign if the election sort of drags on. Now, of course, that's talking in more political terms, whereas yes, there is political aspects to this. These are folks who know how to do church politics, but it is church politics. It's not conventional politics. We're not talking like a platform, and campaign promises as such. Yes, exactly. The longer it goes, the more likely of a non-papabile pope. So the cardinals have a full range of options. They can theoretically elect any unmarried Catholic male. So the jury is still out on whether that includes Daredevil. But I feel like it'll have to be a pretty long conclave before they go into the Marvelverse.
I got a lot of Daredevil lore from Carlos after that episode dropped, and I was like, I'm not going to retain any of this because we got a lot of before dropped, and then a bunch after. And I was like, ooh, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, you did find a house. All right.
No statues on display last year because they were being restored.
Oh yeah, were they just like hidden?
That would be but like you're going to Rome to look at all that stuff, so having them all be gone would just be
Yeah, I did see someone.
The history Discord's parents are there right now, and they were supposed to have a tour of the Sistine Chapel.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna mention that. Yes. No luck there, and apparently they're mad because they're just Sistine Chapel fans. Like they do not care about the papacy. It's basically
at least
the equivalent
that answers
of it being
the
under
question from
construction.
yesterday. Like if
exactly, I was like, that is timely.
Tickets early, would they recomp them and be like, look, we knew this was going to happen. Goodbye to your tickets. Or do you get there and then they go, you can't come in?
I feel like if you're aware enough to like have a reservation at the Sistine Chapel, you would probably typically have an idea that maybe that's being in use after the Pope dies, but maybe not. All right. Guppy's got the washable marker, so he's going to give himself some tattoos.
Yeah, they're non-toxic and they're washable.
Yes. No, and he's child number 5. So
Paper skin might not be paper, but it is sometimes.
yes. Well, actually, this is the inside of the little fort he has, which is fine. Yes, embrace the fort.
She's doing research at the Vatican Library. Seems like it would also be a nightmare right now.
Oh, goodness. Yes. Asking for prophecy's sake. I thought we already had the Petrus Romanus part.
Hello.
It still throws me off that Pier Battista Pizzaballa is Peter the Baptist. Like that feels like someone crossed wires somewhere.
Peter the Baptist does a pizza dance?
Oh yes, apparently. Although the slightly dancing and karaoke, yeah, who is Peter the Baptist? I don't. Well, Pier Battista Pizzaballa, that translates to Peter the Baptist Pizza Dance. So I mean, he's him. But as to how you got the name Pier Battista popping up, that's a great question, because usually it's Jean Battista for John the Baptist.
John the Baptist
of the Bible fame, Jesus's cousin. So straight up Da Vinci Code territory, insofar as there is. Well, I'm not even going to pretend like there's anything to that. But yes, Jesus did have family. There's that much to that. Yeah. Hey, do you see smoke?
Pew.
I made the picture of him bigger.
A pizza balla. Oh, he loves turning the picture of you off.
Yes, he does. What's this solo layout button do? Does the screen still look the same for you guys?
No, now it's just you.
Now it's just
you're gone.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my connection doesn't like that. Okay.
Oh,
I'll
Ari.
figure out how to get back
Guppy
to
also thought it was
smoke
smoke.
cam, because this would be a choice of how to miss the white smoke. Oh, come on. All right. Going off that. Exit full screen.
The apostles are all not related to Jesus. They're all just some folks.
Several of them are related to each other.
Yeah, several
John
are.
the Baptist is related to Jesus, but he's not an apostle.
No, John the Baptist is like his cousin. You are
and then
still not on the smoke, my dude.
Yeah.
Hello.
Share screen. Okay, there we go. All right, here comes the smoke. No, well,
Yay,
here comes the chimney, anyways.
The chimney.
Yeah, we need to find the camera that automatically just shows us the smoke. That's what we're looking for. What color is that smoke? Oh, and the birds. It is a very Roman practice to be trying to get, what's going on direct from watching the birds. So there is that. This is black. It's not yellow. All right. We're going to go ahead and regroup with the GUP, and it is a school bus watch time for me, so I will go see if the... Yes, I'll be back.
All right.
But with even more chaos.
With more children. The cloud is very deceptive.
So if I mute my microphone, as I will Can you still hear the crowd noises?
Yeah, I think so. They're not very loud for me, but I don't have it very turned up. Yeah.
All right,
Crowd
that way you're
noise.
not getting my random household sounds, but I'll give you
Fair.
guys some crowd noises.
Crowd noise only. I'm not. All right, Ethan. Here's the problem with defending deep dish. I don't like deep dish. It's a savory cheesecake, and I like sweet cheesecakes better. And I just, every time, like the first bite of a deep dish always feels like I'm going to die. Like I'm going to choke on it, and this is how I die. There's a bird. It's a pigeon. But yeah, no deep dish for me. I like tavern style much better than deep dish. Pigeons are related to doves. We have to strike your name from the diptychs. Alexander the pigeon is a good name. I feel like the pigeons will be much easier to distinguish between them. Oh, we're cheering because there's a bird. We had like a distinct lack of birds for a while. Oh no, not soggy deep dish. Soggy deep dish is the worst. You know, like usually it's a little wet, but soggy is not great. I wonder what Pizza Ball's favorite pizza is. I wonder if somebody's asked him. Go to the Google. The Google doesn't know. It just wanted to spit AI slap at me. I am so tired of AI slap. I feel so old. Just like, no, don't let the internet make up things. Ah, we lost Alexander. The cloud coming from the left is going to be... It's going to trick us for a while. They must be mutually exclusive, because we can only have one or the other. Oh, I haven't tried St. Louis style pizza, but like I've seen it. Yes, we are in pizza discourse. I went and looked up the Altoona style pizza because I haven't seen this cursed pizza yet, and I do not like it. I do not like this at all. Here comes a cloud. Yes, there's spots open. There's also technically a spot open now if you want to come in here, Ethan. The cloud went away, thank God. You did not miss anything important, Marie. Greg has returned. Maybe. Oh, the gull! The gull is here. Philip and Joanne are here. Gull is here.
That's some pretty serious gull action.
Philip and Joanne are here.
So
Oh,
what I'm
gosh,
going to
I
do
hear
is I'm
myself.
going
I
to
don't
work
like
on
that.
getting myself.
That's
some pretty serious gull action.
Philip and Joanne are here. What are you doing?
All right. So what I'm going to do is set myself up to
And
be able to
Innocent.
audio
Innocent
in.
is also here.
Oh, and there's yep, just a little burp. Yes, thank you, Chocanero. I had the feed going on my phone, so when I got to the microphone, that was not going to work well. So what I'm going to do is try and set myself up so I've got audio on the road while I'm taking care of these kiddos. While Mrs. Poke the History is doing lunch ladying. But until then, we can get some Gull discourse going, and I'll go ahead and promote Ethan. So,
Yay!
yes.
What's up,
Hi,
everybody?
Ethan. You made it.
Yeah, good to
Keep
see
a party
you.
going. The crowd
Yeah,
is loving the gulls.
As they should. Birds are the way to heaven, after all.
And they are potents in Rome.
Potents. Potentiometers. But yes, Chicago is taking over the stream now. So
Yes.
the heartland. I get to call myself a native now just because I've been here long enough.
I will just have to.
How long have you been here now?
I just have to even the score.
12 years.
This
Oh
is
yeah,
probably,
no, that's plenty of time.
I think this counts as cheating.
Double.
No, double Greg.
Oh, boy.
But
Why
that
do you
is
have
going
a second camera hooked up?
So this is just my cell,
Oh, okay.
but
Oh,
I'm
no.
going to be able to do remote.
Craig, you're a demon.
Oh,
What a thing to bring into this holy sacred stream. Though of course all things in terms of the audio visual presentation of the demon is really just Hollywood stuff. Doesn't have any basis.
But the double voice is definitely like, now it's a demon.
Yeah. Though in actuality, it could, the reverberating voice of the divine.
True.
Or something like
True.
that. Who knows? There's nothing sacred anymore. Not even this Smokewatch is sacred enough to escape our blasphemous interpretations.
If the baby lands on a cardinal, does he become pope? I really hope that this baby stays on the roof. I don't know if that baby can fly.
Oh!
Oh,
Whoa!
Jesus. Okay, all right. We got.
Back
Wait.
here.
it's the
Oh
one.
my God, we got the white.
That's the white smoke. Alrighty.
I guess
yeah.
good luck.
So I'm going to be juggling two toddlers with this. So I'll just go ahead and start alerting people so they can come on.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I was.
Yeah, Joey. I'm sorry. I got excited about smoke again.
Well, there it is. Holy. I had absolutely no stake in this, but I was here for it.
You did it.
Does that mean I have to root for the White Sox now?
No.
Okay, good.
White smoke and White Sox are different.
Though both inspire reverence in their devotees. Wasn't there a time when they did this and it wasn't actually supposed to happen?
Did they put up the wrong smoke? I feel like that happened.
Because it was like a new procedure at the time, because it's all chemicals and stuff. So
yeah. I had to give it a second. Like, okay, the smoke is coming out. Because last night the smoke started coming out, but it didn't turn black right away.
Right. Can't even hear that bell.
No, cannot hear that bell.
How much stuff they burn in to produce that much smoke for that long? And it's a big old celebration. So, yeah. How long do you think it's gonna be till we hear the words?
But I don't. It's within a little bit here, and then he goes in, he takes all the stuff. What? Bree knows more than me. Hang on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
press
when
the
Bree and
bad
Greg get
Discord
here,
button.
we'll get some more information. Of course, it has to be the two least informed people.
Right. The two least informed people are just like, hey, Pope's here, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go on Discord
The
and hit
extent
the
of
bad
my
button
knowledge
and call
is
her.
all from the stuff that was already on Pontifex, so you are getting absolutely nothing from me. But yeah, this is cool to see. I definitely wouldn't be waiting outside to go see it, but that's me. I'm not one for Savasta 6 feet to my couch.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is
All
a
right.
moment. A
This
moment
is-
in world history.
Yeah. All right, I gave Bree the bad button call. We'll see if she actually shows up.
Hmm.
But also, Greg's not here.
Yes, Fry did just call Bree, Greg. Is likely to be one of the highly capable, given how quick it was. That's what Greg was saying, is that...
One of the
In-
capability, yeah.
Yeah.
I do have Bree's actual number. Hang on.
How many moments that have happened? Well, I was around here when the Cubs broke their streak. You know, their long losing streak. So I get to say I'm a good luck charm. Happened with the Red Sox, happened with the Cubs. Hey, well, I can't claim credit for this because it was very likely it was going to happen today. So, given recent history. But hey, now we have another statistic to put on the board.
Yes. Is my mic working? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
All right,
hear
my
you,
camera is
Greg.
I got her.
Okay.
It's finishing
All-
serving the lunch
All
because
she did
that
was
would not
answer
be
and
the
go,
thing.
yep, and hang up.
All right. Yep. So I've got my relief coming in. But yes, the bells are ringing. You can tell why there is occasional confusion on what color the smoke is because it is smoke, right? It's not magic. All right. But I will be. I'll be back around. I'll be listening for myself while I wait for Mrs. Pope with her history.
All right.
Much appreciation for her.
Big ups to
All right, if Bree comes in,
Miss-
you're gonna have to.
to get out. I'll do that. I don't have anything interesting to say anyway.
Well, no, there's space for you still. It's
No.
just he would have to get Bree from the back and bring her to the front.
Ah, okay.
Wow. Okay. That was fast.
I like how some of these camera angles. I think that were these. Yeah, I guess that is being shot right now. But some of these are more cinematic than TV. Like,
Some of these drone shots are very cinematic.
how expensive do you think the camera is on there?
Oh, probably not that big. I know. I got excited. I know.
I see someone who
Joy's-
looks like a friend of mine in there. Like, I know that's not her.
That would be really funny.
I don't think she has any love for the Catholic Church. But yeah, I mean, if you were doing this strategically, this would have been the day you would want to show up. So
Yeah, if you were flying in.
I'm interested to see just, you know, really the interesting part is going to be at the end of this when they round it, you know, they get all the statistics of how many people were there and, you know,
Oh yeah.
of course, the
That'll be
result of the
interesting for
voting
sure.
when the hell we get there. Why the hell am I so nervous? I mean, it's a world leader being elected, and we can't take that for granted.
Mm-hmm. I wonder which one it is, because yeah, we got like the top 5, and Greg was saying Parolin may be the most likely, but I guess we'll see.
So what flags have we seen? So we saw Canada, Brazil. Here's another South American country. I'm not great with flags.
I'm also not great. There's
Oh,
Bree!
Bree! Welcome, Bree.
Welcome from your tattoo
everyone.
appointment.
No, I'm at work. My tattoo appointment was yesterday. I'm all wrapped up.
Ooh, nice.
Okay,
I am here
Greg's
at work,
thinking
and
we're maybe doing more.
I'm here with my client Trevor, so he
Hi,
can come say
Trevor.
hello.
Hi.
We're looking at white smoke. Hey,
Yeah.
You're here for a historic moment.
we are. Hi, Ethan.
How you doing? I just popped on and then the smoke came. That just
Yeah.
happened.
You're the
Ethan
good
was
luck
here for
charm.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so
Well-
we got France.
We're a little early because I was predicting a 6th ballot election, so I was thinking it was going to be tomorrow morning. Do we
Yeah,
know?
bright and early.
Have they made any announcements about how fast we're going to see who it is?
No, we haven't gotten any other announcements yet. We
Can you see
basically
them?
started calling and being
yeah.
annoying at you immediately.
Poland, France.
Yes, good. Please do, because I was like sitting at the table getting ready to start my day with Trev. Trev, if you want to
Yes.
pull up or we can pull it on the TV. We'll pull up this live stream. You can see it a little bit better.
Yeah. I've got Mrs. Pope, Vice Pope, Mrs. Pope of the history on the way to relieve me. I do have 2 toddlers at the moment,
Oh, okay.
which is part of the reason why my camera is not currently functional. But I'll try and figure that
It
out.
was-
But I'm not going to
Greg
compromise
had
the
just
stream.
walked away.
Greg had just walked away when it happened. Of course. Of course.
Hey, it's all right. We got the crack team all over it.
Yes, of course.
They
The
knew what to
most
do.
knowledgeable people
Call
in
for
the
help.
room. About...
And talk.
Yeah.
Say
So
things, wonder who it is.
yeah.
Honestly, my guess right
We
now
got to
is
start
Tagle.
speculating about who we think it is. Who do we think won? This is a fast election. That would have been three ballots.
This
Yeah,
would be the
well,
4th ballot,
4.
most likely.
4th ballot. So
Possibly the 5th, depending on how quick they were going, because they were quick
yes,
this
we're
morning.
in.
for 2.
Chile.
But yeah,
We
we
are
had Black Smoke
actually
this
in.
morning.
So
So that
Mexico.
was 3 no's.
Thinking it's probably
It's
the
either
top
4th or 5th
5.
ballot.
Ooh,
Oh
Japan.
yeah. It's probably Caroline or Tagle. And I
I think
always
it's gotta-
guess these things wrong.
I agree with you. I think it's probably Parolin or Tagle. I think maybe.
Oh, we lost you. Maybe who?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you thinking maybe Caroline or maybe Tagle?
Or
If your guess
Zupi,
is I'll do
maybe.
the other one.
Zupi.
Zupi would be cool. I think it's too quick for Zupi. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead and say I'm honestly going to go ahead and take your guy Tagle. Now you can agree with me, or we can really reverse things.
I mean, can we say that it's Krajewski?
You can, yeah. If you want to. Hey, guys,
Speculation is
by
what
the
we're
way-
here for.
By the way, adopt a cardinal is still going on. Put your cardinal in the chat
Time
now.
to adopt a cardinal.
Adopt a cardinal does end once we know the name or see the new pope. But currently there is a pope. You may be adopting a pope.
So for anybody listening who hasn't heard it yet, and for Trevor's sake, because he's here, what we're running an adopt a cardinal program. So you can pick a cardinal that you think is going to be the next pope, and if you're right, you win.
Cool.
We have an adoptee list. If we pull it up, Mom says it's on TV, but we've got it. Yeah. Sorry, everybody, I'm on my phone because I am at work, so I'm going to be reaching and lifting. We'll pull up the list, and you can pick a cardinal for your choice. So,
Yep.
Here, let me do this.
I imagine Pizza Ball is already taken, though.
Oh yeah, I took
is taken by Fry.
Of course.
Okay, hold on. Where is our adopted? We are currently.
My mouth.
It is very sensitive. Holy moly, this game.
Kyle of Quest Friends wants to adopt Tarcisio Isao Kikuchi.
Yes, that's the Japanese. Are they Japanese cardinals? So we need to. Let's go to. Can someone send me the Adopt a Cardinal link to my Discord, and then I can send it to Trevor. and then he can pick
I
his
had it
cardinal.
up here.
Last minute entries, right? I picked crazy. He's not going to win, but we're pretty excited about it.
Okay, I have the link. Time to send it to
Thank
Bree.
you. Thank you. Am I still on screen? Hopefully this is still working.
You are. You're still there.
Sent to your
Well, you're
Discord.
not moving, so maybe you're gone.
That Portugal, Svedka. I'm very interested in these flags. Is Germany?
Oh, there's Brisbane.
Oh, we're seeing the balcony, so they're getting ready.
Oh,
We're
is it not going to be
And
an
that-
hour? It's just going to be now?
I mean, why wait?
So once they reach majority, they ask for the accepto first. We look for who they have to accept that they're going to be pope, and then it's asked what name will they be called by, and then they got to go get dressed, and then they have to take the oath of obedience from all the cardinals. So that's probably what they're doing now, and we know what a line of cardinals looks like.
Yes, that was a whole hour the last time.
Okay, so are you adding stuff in the Adopt a Cardinal list?
Well, Trevor's having a look at it right now, and so you can scroll and you can pick any cardinal you want.
We've got a couple in the chat, so I
amazing.
just want to make sure we get those before
Definitely.
it comes.
So that you can pick any one of these cardinals. You can pick at random, or you can. Oh, they're on camera. Does
Yeah,
anybody have a suggestion for Trevor which pope he should take, or which cardinal he should take? He's new to the whole. He gets to hear it from me,
Oh.
but he's new to the cardinal. Got to give him a good one.
Oh, it's like a sports game now. Everyone's
Do they announce the
on.
new pope name when they say there is a pope in the window?
Yes, they'll do the official announcement. They will get up there. They will yell "Habemus Papam," and then they'll give it to us in Latin. So it'll probably still take us a couple minutes.
Imagine like getting elected pope and then not knowing what your name is. Like,
I'm sure they've all got one picked out. So let's see, who's a good cardinal for Trevor to take?
Fry or Bree
Hilarious
have
the
admin
second.
privileges on the feed, just to check to make sure we can have someone else able to onboard people since I still have toddlers.
Sorry,
Oh, I do not.
Okay, all right.
who
Nope,
is
that's fine.
if we're adding people, I can definitely try and run it, but I may
Okay.
have to pop off if
Nope,
we need to
that's
do
fine.
something else.
Yeah,
But definitely want to wait
that's
and
fine.
see. You want to see who's
Yeah.
pope, right?
Yeah.
Trevor's
Yeah.
totally into it. So
we're here for what Trevor's here for. So yes, absolutely.
Trevor, yeah.
Provost is taken.
And Mary is making her way home.
I'm looking at the list to see who's papable that's left. Ike is taken. Rolling. Oh, here, this one's from Canada. So, is Lacroix taken?
Yeah,
The
Mom got
Lacroix is Zeke and Mom got Lacroix. Okay. Let's look.
Leo's probably not taken.
Leo is taken.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking
Will
for
Theodore wants Dolan.
Dolan.
Dolan is taken.
Oh, Dolan is
Dolan.
taken. I'm sorry.
Dolan
I'm
is
sorry to say.
taken.
But you know who's, oh no, McElroy is taken.
Let
see.
me go ahead and drop the list back in the chat just for easier reference.
Leela
Bo, I
Lexi
believe, is
wants
taken.
Wongbo.
I believe Bo is taken. Go
Okay,
ahead and just feel
okay.
free to continue to list names, and we'll be able to sort through with the timestamps. It's not like you're going to run out of opportunities, so we'll be able to sort through
Is
with timestamps.
Tempesta papable?
So the first name that you list that isn't claimed
a good
will be there.
candidate.
Tempest is actually an episode I just put out last night, so it'd be funny
Considered
if
papable.
he got elected.
He's from Africa. We could have the first African pope, which could be interesting. Oh no, sorry, Tempesta's from Brazil, but he's also still an interesting candidate. If you wanted to go controversial, you could take Mueller. No one's taken Mueller yet. He's the one who said if they didn't get what they want, he was going to schism.
Oh,
just to provide clarity on that, that's not explicitly what he said.
No, it's not
but
exactly what he said, but that was
just in
sort
case
of
you need to go to Germany without any libel lawsuits.
he did say that
Schism
church
would happen if things
Schism.
didn't happen.
What do you think? Who would you like to take?
Personally, I'm just gonna pick a name.
Yeah, you can pick one at total
There is a
random.
random number generator, by the way, on the at the bottom of the document. There's a random number generator and an automatically calculating list of the number of unclaimed cardinals, so you can use that for random number generator purposes.
Pete
as well.
on YouTube says you're the new pope.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, we do know that the only qualifications you have to be the next pope is to be a baptized, unmarried Catholic man. So you are baptized and unmarried, but not Catholic.
Oh no.
But you know what? You've got more qualifiers than Trump does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of claiming happening in the chat. We've got Advincula being taken.
So once I'm far away enough from the studio,
I
it should work.
At the balcony, so we should be seeing it pretty quick.
I'm gonna take Baggio.
Baggio, okay.
New York City.
I have no idea if that's a good idea or not.
He's a good candidate.
I
too.
just like his name.
Okay, Trev is going to take Niche, the name that we had so much trouble pronouncing, the NYCZ, Casimirez. So he is now Trevor's. Let's see if I can, we probably can't update it from here, but if someone can update that for me, that would be awesome. No one wants Sarah. Sarah barely made it into the conclave. He's a month from aging out.
I maintain that there is precedent for a Jewish pope. What is the technicality on this?
Yes, Canadians say Zed.
So I rolled into a rarely used form. I have rolled out my additional G in order to be able to mic and camera from my phone. So
All right.
anyhow.
Greg's here.
I am getting flooded with
Double Greg
messages
again.
too.
Oh, I'm sure. I got one from my mom that was like, that was fast. To the point.
Hey,
All
we'd
right.
rather that than to stretch on for.
I feel as if you should. I can't read that whole comment at the bottom there because the referral link is in the way. Thanks, StreamYard. Get out of. Oh, I feel as if you should be on 8 out of 10 cats and do countdown for you. I mean, that was fun. I do love British game shows. I am still very surprised that we are happening this early. I definitely thought this was going to be me getting up at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning to hold true to my prediction.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the stream, this is like the earliest one where I was thinking there was a realistic chance. The other ones were, the first couple were like right out. But yes, so it turns out realistic chance is the what happened.
Yeah, no, it's so the last time that we had a 4 ballot election was Benedict, and he was considered pretty much a shoo-in, a sure thing. Francis took 5 ballots to be elected.
We did have Emperor Palpatine.
Don't consider this official betting advice, but if you were betting, definitely thinking Paralin Tagle, one of the initial heavy hitters for this early of an election.
You should have Emperor Palpatine. Because
we already had him a couple popes ago,
we did.
According to the memes and internet culture.
Yeah, so we did. For this stuff, who's the only person left? Yes, Sarah. That's because nobody wants him. So we're getting on Trevor's stream here, which is a couple seconds ahead of you guys right now. We're getting a great shot of St. Peter's Square and how full it is. A reminder for anybody who's looking at that. Oh, we've got a parade coming now, but a reminder for anybody looking at this that St. Peter's Square, St. Peter's Square holds 300,000 people.
Oh, wow.
So that's how many people are there right now.
Here's the parade. Choreography and merriment are here.
Choreography and merriment are here, which means we're going to get a pope.
There's my brothers in the front playing the clarinet.
And now we have the Swiss Guards looking fantastic in their uniforms.
Uniforms.
Anybody who missed my rant earlier, We have the Swiss Guards uniforms are not designed by Michelangelo. They were designed by Jules Ripon in the 1910s or 20s, inspired by the Renaissance. Okay, they must be getting ready. We must be having this pretty soon.
Yeah, this must be happening.
What a small little marching band.
Yeah, that is a very small procession. I played in larger lineups than that.
For like high school.
Yeah.
Here we go. Look at those beautiful halberds, hey? Shiny and gold.
I mean, it probably, like, do they have any drums at all? Is it just winds? Yeah.
It looks like you hit drums, but we can't see from the back.
I don't see any drums. I see woodwinds and brass.
Yes, there's one drum.
Yeah. Okay, one that's
drum.
probably why it's so small. Because normally it's a huge procession of drums.
Oh, I see the drum now. That one single drum guy keeping the beat.
Oh, I'm like nervous.
I'm curious, like, what kind of music is this? Because I know that it's, like, not everything in the church is all liturgical and everything, but it's just like the style of that just sounds very like
It sounds
military
marching band.
brass rather than like something you'd expect for.
It sounds again more like what you would hear at the sort of a royal coronation. So I wonder if it's sort of shout back to the Papal States Day.
I think this is the Vatican's national anthem.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Close up of someone's phone coming.
Are they gonna spell out his name?
That would be amazing.
I come from the land of Script, Ohio, so this is Script Pope.
They would definitely have better lines than the Cardinals would. Okay, we have officials coming out, so.
Yeah, the Swiss Guard would spell out Wojtyła with the little thing through the L. Like, they would be on it.
Get a Cairo in there as well.
This is happening. This is happening soon. I just watched a whole bunch of Vatican officials come out of the building.
Yeah, look. All right.
God,
okay.
this is exciting.
I did not expect the Blue Parade. I don't know if I missed this part last time or what, but there's all so many little things and so many details, so many traditions. You can spend your whole life trying to learn this stuff, and I know because I have, and you will not get to the end of it.
Okay, the radio is already in contact, wanting me to come on later. We'll have to see about that.
A radio?
Yeah, the radio station in Montreal that I was on.
Oh, that you were on a couple days ago.
Oh, hello. Hi, Mom. My mom's in the chat.
Oh, hi. So shout out to my grandma who passed away last year, but she was Catholic.
Oh,
She would have been interested in this.
Well, we'll watch in her honor. And for we have movement.
I have a weird request. Could someone drop a link to this video in the chat, because that way I could see it on my backside admin thing to the YouTube video that you're watching, so I can send it to family. Thank you.
Yes.
Apatum.
And actually, I guess, Bree, if you could stick that in the StreamYard chat. Or Fryer, whatever.
Well, Bree's doing it, so I'm not gonna steal her
I've
thunder.
got it.
Ethan's also
Seeing
doing
it pop up on my phone immediately separately, but yeah.
Bree, you were frozen for like a minute.
Oh, okay.
In there.
If you can do that, Ethan, that would be super
I
helpful.
did.
Not showing up
It's
on my
done.
phone. All right.
Done and done.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Ethan's
So I can
much
see a
faster
bunch
than
of
me.
people have joined us in the last couple minutes. So everybody say hi to Trevor, my client, who I'm hanging out
Hi,
with today.
Trevor.
I'm officially at work, so we're doing this live, and Trevor is absolutely playing along and being awesome. So
Awesome.
I think he's excited to see who the next pope is as well.
Yeah, I mean it's a big event.
He's been listening to me rant about this for quite a few weeks.
You have to put up with Bree, but
Oh.
so do we all.
He gets the pleasure of hanging out with me twice a
Mm.
week.
Mm.
I'm sure he'd tell you it's awesome, right?
Right. Most of the time.
Most of the time, he says.
Most of the time, you're awesome.
Well, I think that's a fair assessment.
By the way, you know, like normally as internet and podcasting people, we just kind of know each other remotely. But in fact, all the people in this room, well, you know, all the main people have met each other at
That's
the
true.
Frontapalooza.
The pollution was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
I would like it to happen again when it's safe to cross the borders. That would be
Yeah.
super awesome.
Or we can all just come to Canada to you.
Do that. Everybody get your passports. Come hang out with me.
I have needed to renew mine for a long time, so
This is good reason.
Do it.
Frontapalooza 2.0. We can go
All right.
to, you know, the Canadian center of the world, Toronto.
yeah.
If it's
I mean, I've never been.
Toronto,
so-
which had 2 cardinals in this conclave, for crying out loud.
Oh, look
That's
at
pretty
that.
impressive for a city not named Rome.
And there we go. We got the Canada guy here.
he's telling us to also go to Canada.
Well, I guess it's divine intervention.
By the way, we have a second marching band coming in,
Yep.
so maybe
Ooh, another one.
there's
Why
going
are
to be
these guys in a whole different regalia?
The fact that that's like Canadian themed marching band makes me definitely eyeing the Canadian Cardinals.
Ooh.
Is
Ooh.
it Canadian themed?
Is it?
Because it was
Or
the
did we
white
just
and
put
red,
them
which
red
those are
peacock
also
assumption?
relatively Vatican colors, but I'm just wondering.
I don't know.
I think the space alien was.
I mean, they wouldn't have been able to prepare that quickly.
Well,
If
Trevor
they just had a thing to switch out in the hats, I don't think that's actually the case. But
space alien.
Yeah, I don't suspect that.
for one thing, they would not want it to be a patriotic thing. So that's
Right.
absolutely not what's going on here. Because they don't want to play up like, you know, where the Pope is from explicitly.
They did the patriotism for Francis' funeral by giving the royal or the dignitaries of Argentina their priority. So there's
Why
that.
would you have a second marching band come on and play the exact same song?
To keep the crowd going.
Yeah, that's true. They are probably just stringing us along while they get the new Pope dressed. Do we think he's coming out in the full papal tiara, or do we think he's coming out Francis style in just the zucchetto and the white?
I mean, it would depend who it is.
Yeah, it would
That's
depend
the-
on who it is.
Yeah, I think for the ones that we're likely to have seen elected this early, it would definitely be Francis style is my bet.
True.
Will they be humble, or will they come out? Stating
I'm not ruling out them like having like pyrotechnics in the background, but I do think it'll be Francis style investments.
Did they last time have
I think
fireworks?
Tagle would go for pyrotechnics.
Oh boy. Yeah, but they would have to have those set up again. Like, that's the thing about all this.
Red crosses on the back of the hats of the current marching band, and now we have. Oh, these must be the remainder of the contingent of the Swiss Guard, because they are in their exercise uniform, which is the one they use when they are doing the protection work and not the
Oh.
Pageantry stuff.
yeah. At least that is my guess. I can't get a good look at that logo while they're
Is it a
sitting.
Sailor hats? What
Do
the?
we have a navy for the Vatican?
The Vatican does not have a name. It's a
What are we
land.
doing?
New Pope comes out in corpse paint and black metal blasting out through the speakers. Love it.
Ghost did announce their new pope recently too, so they were right on the money for timing. We are doing a Patreon episode about the history of all the ghost popes, so that's coming eventually. Still a work in progress. I have an expert coming on to talk to us about the history of the ghost pope.
It used to have a navy. Well, the Papal States probably had a navy, but Vatican City, I don't think had a navy.
Look at how exciting it would be there to be.
So, do we think that this marching band was just fully dressed every single time, waiting
I would say mostly dressed. You can get some of that stuff on fairly quick.
You're sitting in the back room, just like overheating. How hot is it in Rome today? Has anybody checked? That's been a consistent factor in our live stream. How hot is Rome?
Did not check yet.
Rome weather.
It was 20 degrees Celsius yesterday.
66 degrees Fahrenheit, 19 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, they're getting a little break in the weather. It's not bad.
Yeah,
If you
that
can
would
hear
be.
Joy whining, I gave her a piece of fancy jerky and she wants to hide it.
Oh, now we have a third contingent, fourth contingent.
Another one.
Kirby.
Is that person
Martin.
wearing a fake papal ring?
Sorry, what?
The person on the screen has a ring that kind of looks like the papal ring.
No, the papal ring has already been forged and
Yes.
destroyed. But
Like a copy.
It just looks.
people, when they come to these gatherings, like the general audience and whatnot, they'll bring all the jewelry that they want blessed by the Pope, because there will be a general blessing. That will
Hello,
be
John.
Hello.
Hello.
It's prime time for a pope.
It's prime.
It is prime time for a pope.
I would love to have a working camera for this. Oh well, we got several working cameras going, and I'll just hang out on Team Fry with the no camera.
Yeah, I got my ugly mug on here. I'll make up for you.
We're gonna get close-ups of me while I try to scroll away, because I do need to get this out on our social media saying that this is happening.
Yeah.
It's
all just came together in a big old
Yeah.
splash of-
We were just gonna talk about a baby seagull for another 10 minutes, and then the
We
smoke
still
showed
can. I think we've still got about 10 minutes.
We were
Yeah.
just about to get into the Chicago food debate, and then white smoke.
up.
Yeah, I was summoned after I saw the news. I was like, I'm definitely going to show up early and see if I can cheekily jump in early.
No,
Hey,
it's
being
cool. It's
cheeky-
cool.
What this is all about.
So, how much of these like crowds and things have just been waiting, ready to go?
Cardinals texting. I think that's Kent Lemessa on his
That
phone.
we were asking the question of like, is the marching band
Was
suited
the
up
marching
every
band
single
ready?
day?
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
we got an overture.
Oh yeah, I think this is official.
Ooh.
It'll still be a few minutes of ceremony though.
And we still don't know who it is yet, right?
Correct.
the secret.
We will find out when they show their face, get their name announced. I forget honestly which is first, the name or the face, but we got
I
both
thought
pretty
those
much
were
simultaneously.
cannons behind him.
It is
No, those are
most
just
likely,
really big
we're
cameras.
thinking Tagle or Paroline, just because this quick of a ballot, this was relatively quick. This would be fourth or fifth ballot.
ballot, yeah.
Um,
Can you guys still hear me? The browser
Yes.
got weak. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Although I am going to disappear again and try the phone Greg version again, but I keep losing myself. Umberto, I'm going to put you on. Don't want to leave you hanging. So welcome,
Umberto.
Umberto, from So You
Hello,
Think
everyone.
World Persia.
Apparently, the UK contingent has now joined.
I am so amused at you guys like apologizing for showing up early. No, it's fine. It's fine. Everyone.
Yeah, just
Look,
like-
I've never
Get
showed up early for
myself
anything else in my life, so it's important that I,
Fine. I mean, did you get a weird
Something
phone call
clutch.
from an Italian number? I don't know.
Clutch, I believe is the term.
I got a text from a cardinal.
Ah, pretty good.
Oh yeah, that like we said, there was a cardinal texting just then. Yes.
Or at least I received a text and it was from a cardinal number. So.
Yes.
Oh, well, I think we're close enough.
I guess it wouldn't have been Cantalamessa because he's not a cardinal, but whoever was.
Oh, did they
texting
have
was
the
definitely a cardinal.
Italian police doing things?
Mm-hmm.
Garda? Oh, almost certainly. Oh, sorry.
Free
Sorry,
back.
that's my
No.
phone interfering with the thing because I am making phone Greg be a thing again. We'll see if I can keep that tab open. Usually it gets bumped because I am fielding toddlers still. So speaking of, I'll get back to that.
So it's not because Greg is trying to up our viewership by counting as several devices at once.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work that way. It only.
If as many people as possible are on the panel, we'll get so many views.
This is the first conclave I witnessed. Why is it so hype? I mean, same for me.
Look at that!
It's
Look at that
like-
outfit! That red
Just to
velvet.
be there in the moment when something important is happening. That's-
Actually, why don't you guys tell us who you are and where you're from, what your podcast is, because we do have quite a lot of people watching right now. So give yourself the introduction you deserve.
Ethan, you were here first, so why don't you?
Yes, let's do an order of
I mean,
precedence.
technically, Fry was here first, but I imagine most
But
people.
Technically,
Everyone knows
Greg
who I
was
am.
here first, but not this version of Greg.
Yeah,
I'm like a Marvel timeline right now.
So I'm Ethan. I don't have a podcast, but I appear on several podcasts, including Video Game Newsroom Time Machine. My research focus is video game and coin-operated game history.
Hi,
Recently
I'm-
took an interest in popes.
Just aside, at some point, I have planned this with Bree for a very long time. The appearances of historical popes in video games, there's extremely few. I'm just gonna let you know.
Assassin's Creed, surely.
Yes, Assassin's
that's the
Creed is
main
the big
one.
And then
Crusader
there's
Kings, every other pope.
Yeah.
Medieval Total War.
They put the same poop in Assassin's Creed, by the way. It's the wrong pope. So,
Oh dear.
The wrong pope.
So at some point that will be a special episode, but I still need to actually.
They got to show up in some of the Age of Empires playthrough things.
All right, so we'll move it along.
Thanks, Ethan. I'm John. I am one of the 3 co-hosts of Primetime Prime Ministers. We review every Prime Minister from Robert Walpole to the modern day, because unlike some podcasts, we're not ambitious enough to say where we're going to end.
Very brave.
And there is a very real possibility of the British government producing prime ministers faster than we can rate them. Yeah, it's lovely to be here. I am a lapsed Catholic who went to a school that was run by monks, so I, know some vague things about this process, but nowhere near enough. And it's lovely to be told what's what by actual scholars who know and understand this. So thank you very much for
you're
having
also eligible, which is cool. Oh wait, no, you're married. Damn.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes, I'm not prepared to keep my husband a secret for the sake of high position.
Eligible to be pope, to be clear. This is not a dating channel.
Also, possibly, yes.
Yes, but yeah, thank you very much for having me.
And
Thank
yeah, I'm
Right.
Umberto. I'm one half of the So You Think You Can Rule Persia podcast, where we have rated and reviewed all the Kings of Persia from Diocles to Yazdegerd III.
Look at that, a finished podcast.
A
Can you
done-
It's
believe it?
exciting.
Finished.
We're going through the rounds. It'll be fun, and I am Italian, so that helps. I
There we
presume.
go. Yeah, everybody else here has credentials.
at least all of you that I can see. If there's anybody else here.
They would be
There's-
secret in the back, and then Greg would have to bring them out.
Yes, exactly.
Got some cheers.
Phone free.
Who knows what it's for? It could be the bird again.
But I will
It
tell you,
was very
Trevor and I,
entertaining
We've got a
for all this
great
time.
view here of everything going on. So
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
My
Presumably
original
at this
estimate for time-wise is like an hour from the white smoke, so we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
Mhm.
Really
He's got to
getting closer, though.
he's got to get the little things around the.
Yeah, they're getting
side.
dressed, right?
Elaborate
Very
outfit.
quickly.
They need to get.
He's got to get dressed. There is some internal ceremony, but we are seeing some definitely crowd liveliness.
Presumably the cardinals know who it is, and like a certain level of people know. Have there ever been any like betting scandals on this kind of thing?
Just put a
I
bet
will
just
say-
after the white smoke.
The Habemus Papam news is some of the oldest exciting news that will circulate around the world. Right? There's only one monarchy around that's older than the papacy, and that would be the emperors of Japan. And otherwise, this is sort of the most ancient news that you could get that would be exciting, or at least, of interest, shall we say, to folks just across the ages. They would know what you're talking about.
Are the emperors of Japan that old? I thought they were like 600 AD.
No.
Traditional dating, I'm sure
Yeah.
there is some debate.
Okay. Yes. Very well.
Yeah, Japan. It's mythology mixed with. Yeah, but
I mean, they have a sword the sun goddess gave them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mythology stuff goes back significantly further, but I think reasonable historicity, there is a case to be made for them being older than papacy, I think. But I have not delved into it.
what you mean by this Japan as a ruling body, unified Japan versus just individual dynasties and all that stuff. But that's a whole other thing. A question.
To interject here, there was one time where they accidentally started congratulating a cardinal on his election to pope before the election was done, and he did not win.
That's harsh.
So there has been
Tough
some
day, yeah.
new issues on that front.
I mean, the saying, whoever enters the conclave of Pope exits the cardinal, right? So that very much applied in that case, sounds like.
I hope the Pope doesn't come out in the 10 minutes I'm going to be gone. I have to take the dog out.
Japanese.
Just wait to make the Pope come out, but
I
run.
will yell at
All
you.
of the school kids did get their school lunch. By the way, I have confirmed, which is good. I would have felt bad about that.
And all of the kids were absolutely nearby.
And all of the school kids were apparently losing their minds because it is a Catholic school. And
Oh, wow.
first new Pope of all of their lives.
The first graders were all chanting.
First graders chanting new Pope here. You want to provide commentary, Mr. Vice Pope, Mrs. Popular History?
Okay, so I was over there. I was telling the deacon's daughter that we had a new pope, and I had to yell it to let her know. And then so all of the first graders that she brought into the room were chanting, "New pope, new pope!" Apparently, they had been watching the coverage all day, and it was really cute. We kind of lost control for a little bit, but it was okay.
I mean, there was an adorable children conclave in like Chicago where they elected a Pope Augustine, so
That's really
that seemed great.
Yeah.
Now,
Augustine also good Pope name. I vouch for that one.
that is a good one. For anybody wondering why there are cardinals in the crowd, again, those are the cardinals who would be over 80 and who were not allowed to join the conclave.
Which one's the one that looks really good for how old he is?
Cardinal Ray, he's 91, and he looks good for his 70s, as Greg pointed out. I imagine that most of them would be inside right now, greeting the new pope and taking their oath, but there's a couple out there.
How
Do you
many
think
of these
being
overage
outside-
cardinals
after you,
were
Umberto.
there? Sorry, yeah. I was just wondering, how many of these overage cardinals are there? Do you know?
Over 100, like
yeah.
115 something.
wow.
Altogether, there's 250 some cardinals. 135 are of the age to be electors. And then there's Cardinal Big Hugh, who is of the age to be an elector, but lost his rights due to being fiscally naughty.
That's
guys-
fair. Yeah.
There's a shot coming here, and there's a guy jumping in the crowd to make himself known. It's quite, he's just having a good time.
And
there
do
he
we
is.
know how they handled the fact that they legally have too many electors?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
he-
said not a problem. They
Yeah.
decided as a body, and they do have the ability to do that. I was reviewing the relevant documents.
Yeah.
Basically, Pope Francis was the one that had the authority to waive that, and he kind of waived it by implication by making too many electors.
Okay.
yeah.
You
The
were
minute
surprised
that
they God appointed me. What are you
What?
going to do?
the
with
moment
But
that
they-
Pope Francis announced that he had a 121st cardinal, the rule expanded.
Kind of,
why
because
would-
JP2 and Benedict both did the same thing. So, like, it kind of would be a place, but ultimately the Pope's an absolute monarch. And in the end, to really button it up, because you don't want any sort of, questions over legitimacy, the College of Cardinals did officially release a statement saying that, they were as a body endorsing the elector status of all of the cardinal electors, regardless
so
of the cap.
why was this rule in place to begin with? Why limit it to 120?
So partially a question of space. Bree, do you want to talk about that while I get that? Get myself situated. Oh wait, no, you're tied up.
No, I'm
So-
here. I'm
okay.
here. I
Do you
can
wanna-
talk about it.
Go ahead.
So part of it is, in fact, to just regulate the process, so that there was a Pope John Paul II released a document called Universi Dominici Gregis, which is now the official protocol for the election process. And as Greg said, it is also for space, because the cardinals, when they come to vote on the next pope, are staying at the Dom of Sancta Martha, which only has 120 rooms, and they are currently over capacity, and they are one down because, of course, Francis's room that he lived in has been sealed. So they are moving people into older buildings, and I don't know if we actually confirmed whether some people are staying in the Apostolic Palace or not, but that was also a possibility for the time
So
being.
we have folks staying in the old Casa Santa Marta.
Yes, yes.
So,
There was the
yes.
old Casa Santa Marta, but I don't
This one
know.
has the previous digs.
So they didn't take the opportunity to do like a reality TV Survivor style thing where the 100 and something cardinals have to vote themselves down to 120 before they can elect a pope.
No, they did not.
Beds.
I would be
fun as
very
well.
curious, though, to see the conversations that resulted in who are the 5 going to the old Casa Santa Marta.
I read it was a lottery. They drew names.
Ah, okay.
Ah, that's very democratic.
That's the best way, to go about it.
The
It is
church has been
weird-
doing lotteries since before it was the church. Like that's an Old Testament sort of thing. So that's a very common way.
The
of resolving.
weirdness of this election, it's an elected absolute monarch. That's always the weird
Yes.
thing to remember here.
There are so many little details that I'm like this. I don't know why other people aren't as obsessed as I am. Many of them are, and many of them, of course, are on this feed, or in the crowds, in the chat as well. Go ahead.
Technically, I think Saxon kings may well have been elected absolute monarchs because they
Witan.
were
Yeah.
voted on by Witans, exactly. But we don't know enough to be confident. Oh, also, sorry, I've just spotted Peter. This is something that I thought of the last time we saw a picture of St. Peter. Why does Peter have 2 keys? Like, does that imply that there are
Keys
2
to the
separate
kingdom
heavens?
of heaven and earth.
Yes. So what is bound and what is loose as well.
There you
So heaven and earth and what is bound and what is loose. So they represent Peter having jurisdiction over the spiritual body of the whole world.
Yeah, and it's not that he has jurisdiction over heaven, but yes, he. Yes, sorry,
Yeah.
I made that up on the spot, and Bree had a better answer. This is how
It's
traditions
that
are born.
whole you are the rock upon which I will build my church. What is bound on earth will be bound in heaven. What is loosed on earth will be loosed in heaven. The keys represent those pieces.
That's really interesting. Thank you.
It is kind of fun though that the Holy Roman Empire and the papacy were both elective monarchies. It's just I like the symmetry.
We should be clear here when we talk about an elected absolute monarch here, because the cardinals are just doing God's will. So
Yes.
it's still God in that.
Kendra.
Technically, the Holy Roman Empire wasn't an absolute.
It depends, I
Oh, I
guess.
thought you
on
were
the
gonna say
Charlemagne
technically
was
everybody's
the absolute,
doing-
but
Yeah.
after that, the absolute went downhill very quickly.
I will say one of the most interesting things in Tallbean's podcast, Robin of History of Byzantium, is there's kind of like a pseudo election thing going on with the Byzantine monarchs. It's quite interesting to like think about.
Yeah, I mean to bring water to my own mill, which is probably not an English expression. The Parthian monarchy is entirely elected, and that caused constant civil wars because
Elections always do.
terrible. It means that there's necessarily pretenders just for how things work.
All right,
That Canada guy is so
I'm
hype.
going to be a little bit chaotic, and I'm just going to throw the StreamYard link into the history Discord. I will still have control over who gets on and who gets off.
Greg,
Oh
Greg,
boy.
there is
Yes.
there is hold on. There is
Hold on.
actually a limit to how many people we can have on screen with StreamYard.
Okay.
So I don't know if you should.
What's the limit?
I think it's 10 and we're at 6. So
All right,
be careful how many people you bring on because it might break us.
We get
All right, I
close
don't want
to
to
the
break
limit for when
Out
we
of
read
out of respect for the
the
people
Pope's granddaughter.
for the people watching, I will not throw a hand grenade. There is a reason I mentioned this plan. I was like, this could
Just
be
mention
bad.
in the main chat, just like, hey, if anyone wants to come.
Yeah. We can accept 4 more people and then they will be told that they cannot unless it breaks.
I would like Pope Pizza Bala so he can be the patron saint of pizzas and pizzerias.
Did you know that there's a candidate called Pizza Bala?
Yeah, I think
His name is Giambattista Pizza Bala.
Pierre Batista.
I have been sent a
Here, Batista,
meme in hopeful anticipation of it being a particular cardinal. I don't know if you can see the little hat on the pangolin there.
Very good.
I don't need messages at my number.
Yeah, all popes should choose an animal. That would be fun.
I mean, Francis chose all of them by choosing his name of Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of animals.
I thought they had retrospectively retconned him as being Father Ansis, based on the kerning of his coffin.
The coffin was terrible. I don't know how that got
I-
made. That was very
So
weird.
David,
Tell that
truly being
story.
David, has pointed out just how much Paraline's chances have risen since the smoke. So he's at apparently a 67% chance on Polymarket, or at least he was as of 12 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
because it's
wow.
an election.
Yeah.
What-
I'm still going to go with Taglay just because I'm so often wrong about these things, and I could always flip it back to say, well, I originally chose Paroline.
Just choose
And then I'll
all of
just-
them in rapid
I'll just
succession, and
edit
then
the
you can
video.
be right.
I think it's going to be
Yeah.
Zoopy. I think it's going to be Marks. I think it's.
I
don't
mean,
know how to edit
Marks
video.
would be amazing. I would love
We-
that, just for the memes.
We
Oh,
currently have
well, it's not
80
like Pizza
people
Hollywood.
watching with us right now. So hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us because I just saw a surge come in here. Hello. Welcome. We're all very excitingly awaiting the new Pope. Also, everybody, again, say hello to Trevor. Trevor's my client, and we are hanging out together, and he is very graciously and very excitedly joining me to watch the Pope.
Yes. This is the most exciting part of your day.
Yes.
Just accept it.
We were not expecting it.
I was expecting to like leisurely make my way here, but no.
Ooh, what is the flag with the tree on it? That's interesting. I don't know if I've seen that one before. It'll be on screen here in a second.
Was it
We'll
like
see.
a cedar? Lebanon.
Lebanon. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Lebanon.
Lebanon.
Ah.
That's a
the
nice flag. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Eh.
The
Bree
Going
is
all
going
the
to
way
see
back
the
to like
Pope,
the
the new
cedars
Pope
of
10
Lebanon.
seconds
in the
before
Bible.
us. This is going to be
I am going to see it a little bit
Is
before you.
it the UAE?
We're going to
as
have
well
the
down
first
there?
view.
What feed are you on to be beating the Vatican's coverage?
It is the Vatican's coverage. We're just
You just
maybe
have better
Yeah, it's your connection, Greg. That's the issue.
Oh,
Just
no.
geographically closer to the speed of light.
Oh, you know what it is? I didn't hit the skip ahead to live broadcast button. Is that better?
oh
We in sync.
We could have missed precious milliseconds of Pope.
goodness.
Yeah, like how do you know that they didn't show the Pope and then take him away again in that time?
Well, you know, you got to take risks. Perhaps they showed the Pope and then he just keeled over,
Belarus,
and they've actually elected a new Pope in those intervening 10 seconds.
Chile.
Can anyone identify the flag with the man with the bandana on it? Trevor is out.
That's Corsica.
I was curious as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have thought Isle of Man, although I know their
It
flag
should
is
be.
amazing in its own way.
It has like a hubcap with 3 legs on it. the
Yes,
Isle
I was
of Man.
trying to remember what body parts were in the hubcap.
Yeah, it's very Sicilian of them to do like 3 body parts spinning around, but you know, good stuff.
Everybody
Incidentally,
play-
if you ever go to Corsica, don't eat cheese that you're offered unless somebody tells you exactly what it is.
Oh, the Casa Marta or whatever. I'm
No,
confusing
thank
it now
you.
with the Casa Santa Marta because I've been saying that a lot.
What are you using the drone to film the air show?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good question. Do
I
we
was
know? Do we know what's filming right now? Trevor asked if this is a
That's
drone.
probably a relatively elevated TV cam. I'd expect
Yeah,
some
I'm
sort of
thinking like
boom.
maybe a
Yeah, I
boom.
would-
Pretty low to be a drone in this crowd.
Yeah,
They
I
would
think
be
that this is
being
a hang.
Yeah, I feel like
Right.
just for
Fine.
security reasons, you wouldn't want drones flying around
Oh,
at
you
this
would.
point.
They do
You see
have
another
drones.
camera on the
I
back
think you can
left
see
there.
them.
further
Yeah,
out, yeah.
So we are on balcony scene. So the Vatican definitely seems to think it's time, just like the chimney.
Yeah.
Nope, they don't.
In fair Verona.
We will
No,
gradually
they're-
get more balcony. Imagine being like the last random person to be on this camera. That would be an interesting claim to fame. That would be on one of those shows where it's like, I'm famous, but for a very obscure reason.
Oh, like in Big Fat Quiz at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who last
love
person before the Pope?
I wonder if there's competition to
I was
be like
just-
the first baby to be blessed by the new Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels
Oh,
like
yeah.
Technically
Yeah.
it is.
Like
It's a
I
thing
was
that happens.
his immediate predecessor on camera. There is the potential for some clue as to depending on who's on the balcony. So for example, Paroline is the dean of the College of Cardinals. So I would expect that he would be on the balcony unless he's elected, unless they're going to have him do the walk-up music. So if you don't see Paroline up there, then I would expect
that's a
it's
good
Paroline.
point. That's a
The
very
guy
good
just
point.
came from the right
I
of
know-
the camera. To
I
be
know
like,
because people got
"I'm
tipped
here."
off with Ratzinger because he was the dean.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but Ratzinger was a shoo-in. Everyone expected that he was coming out of that one anyway.
Yeah.
How long that election take? I forget.
4 ballots.
Oh, okay.
That was a
yeah,
4
so
ballot?
basically like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quicker elections, you're more likely to have the ones that were expected before.
And what's the quickest they've ever had?
Oh,
Or I
one
guess
ballot.
they
I mean, they've
haven't always
both-
had elections, but
Yeah, they've had quote unquote conclaves that have produced a new pope the same day the old pope died.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's
Damn.
the
Really rushing.
Obviously, that was not the
figured out
full
God's
modern
plan
process,
immediately. Yeah.
but yes. Yes,
I mean,
so
if he
the
says
quickest
kick
is
him
the
up,
record
you
not
better
likely to
kick
be
him up,
broken,
otherwise,
nor is the
you know.
longest. I mean, you got 267 popes now. All of these papal transitions, which, by the way, shout out to Bria and I are going to be doing Cardinal O'Malley, one of my favorites. Apparently, he's not pope. Or he's got someplace to be. He's like, I actually kind of need to wrap up this conversation. I think people need me.
He's being held by somebody just chatting him up.
But I mean, I'll be honest. I would want a pope that's got held by chatting up random people from
That's
being
very
told.
Francis-like. Yeah.
There
Yes.
have been popes who actually waged war, right, in the sort of papal states era. So
Oh, yeah.
presumably
I
in
mean, it was
Julius
those
II,
days,
yeah.
Famously,
you need a new pope as quickly as possible because someone's got to get out there and get on that war horse.
One of the Johns rallied armies against the Saracens. I mean, Rome has been sacked more times than I can count. But yes, Habemus
funny though,
Points
rallying
would be
armies
the
sounds
collaborative
much cooler.
project Brie and I are working on for ranking all of the papal transitions from Peter to from Peter to Linus to I guess now it'd be from Francis to ? Although not ? Much longer. The cardinals you're seeing in the crowd, they're ones with sort of the red scarlet piping on their otherwise black clothes, because that is their more formal dress. Those cardinals I expect would tend to be, and from the ones I've identified, are the ones that are over 80, because the other ones are still presumably kind of doing whatever their business is around the Sistine Chapel, around the new pope.
Are the ones
Which
over 80
John
allowed to know?
defended Sicily?
I'm sure they're allowed to know at this point. I would guess, yes, but they probably have not lifted quite yet the communication bans in the Vatican. So it's one thing to be allowed to know; it's another thing to be able to know.
I love the monk just in the middle.
They very specifically shut down all communications in the Vatican, with the exception of St. Peter's Square, because the media that would not have worked.
Fair.
It's interesting that they can be that specific with the jammers or whatever.
Come on, Pope, get up there.
That obelisk, by the way, is about 3,000 years old. Lifted from Egypt. In the
what a weird
I see a question from Great Kentuckian, and I can see half of it. Is excommunication still used theoretically
Yes.
to Pope excommunicate? Yes, it does still happen. Someone was just excommunicated last year.
Well, no, the question was, could the Pope
move?
excommunicate himself just to get out of the job?
No, because being in communion is pretty much defined as being in communion with the Pope. So the Pope could resign to get out of the job.
Yeah.
I think a canonist would probably tell you. I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen a question like that. So great job, Great Kentuckian, for thinking outside the box. But yes,
you can just say
is still a thing.
no.
But it would be basically a logical impossibility for the Pope to excommunicate himself. That would just, I guess, that would work
I
out
would
to him excommunicating
everybody,
all of the
wouldn't it?
Catholics. Yes, everyone.
Divide by 0, destroy everything. That's it. No more church.
Error.
Let's all go home.
Green screen Catholicism.
Barry, I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
The blue screen, rather. But yes, Vigano did get excommunicated last year, which was only surprising because I was not expecting Pope Francis to formally excommunicate a specific person. Usually, it's been just kind of like that automatic late sententia, automatic excommunication.
That being said, his strategy before had been to just ignore Vigano forever. So when he excommunicated him, I think it came to as a shock even to Vigano, who really wanted to be excommunicated at one point.
Oh, he was gunning for it. He was straight up calling the Pope the Antichrist. And this is an archbishop, the former papal nuncio, right? The main ambassador of the Vatican to the United States. Which I'm just going to say, it's interesting that there are several years worth of bishops that were personally chosen by a guy who is now excommunicated in the U.S. hierarchy. So you may you may reflect on some of the patterns of what the church looks like in the U.S. in light of that. But that's as political as I'm going to get church-wise, because that is lava.
That's why we have a
church. Do you know who the last ruling person to be excommunicated was?
The last ruling, probably.
Formally,
I would expect it would be one of the leaders during the unification process.
Yeah.
Might be
the
Umberto,
Risorgimento folks.
The first, I guess.
Yes,
I would imagine.
Yeah,
Don't
I mean,
worry,
like
not
in,
him.
Oh,
in a
people are
specific,
running into the crowd.
forget you specifically targeting that person excommunication.
Fair.
Yeah, it would have been the Italian unification folks.
Yeah.
Man,
I
the
do
worst
love
part
how-
of being a marching band, just stand.
You just have to stand there.
The little one that they're pointing
Those
to?
guys
Yeah,
have.
And
the one that they will come out on. And that,
I do love how
Yeah.
when the Italian government conquered Rome, they made a Jewish man give the order because the Pope was going to excommunicate whoever gave the order.
Yeah.
So that was a good loophole.
They had to go get a locksmith to get keys to the Lateran Palace.
Here, this is also where the Pope gets his Angelus from when he comes out every week. I'm giving Trevor some explanations of what's going on with St. Peter's and the balconies here. So we were talking about how the central balcony is not only where the Pope will appear, but that's also where the Pope gives his Angelus and his general audience meetings every week.
Oh,
Except
you know
for
what it
sometimes-
is? It's because of the tab, I'll bet. Oh, I'm told I'm about 10 seconds behind the live feed again. Which
I don't
looks
think you
like
are.
It is what it is.
You're at the same place we are, and we're live.
Right. Well, I might have accidentally fixed it somehow.
On the
I don't
excommunication question.
I don't think Napoleon. Well, he might have been excommunicated. Yes, the Italian, the Risorgimento would have been after that, and I'm sure that folks got excommunicated there. Part of the issue with Napoleon is that he had the Pope as prisoner, so excommunication that might have been around would have been off. Part of the thing is Napoleon, played out over the course of years. So I have not studied that in depth. I do not know for sure if Napoleon was excommunicated. I'm willing to bet he was, but I do not know.
I'm not sure because the Pope died fairly soon after.
Right. Yes, but my question would be could the cardinals excommunicate? And I think they could, and that would have been yeah.
So the death of a pope doesn't automatically undo excommunication, and medieval total war lied to me about
that. I think it's sort of forced you to stop wars with the Pope, because otherwise it's a war against the papacy and not against the person that you disagree with.
It's a worse look to be
there's
going
that
against
nuance.
the Catholic Church. You could call the Pope evil and corrupt in the Middle Ages, and you can call the Church evil and corrupt in different general ways, but to just be straight up warring against the concept of Catholicism would be more of a heavy lift. It is interesting to see the way the Holy Roman Emperors, for example, would balance those PR interests, basically of am I against the Pope? Yes, when he's trampling on my rights, right? Basically, they saw themselves as equals.
I will be right back.
Yep.
We have some fun equivalents of that in
Oh, Bree,
Oh, now
I'm so sorry.
No,
Oh dear! Oh no!
You said you would be right back, and you're right back.
I fixed
Here
it
we
for
go.
you. Here we go. Turn up the volume. Oh. Here we go.
All right.
What's happening?
No, that's that, and it will announce.
All right, brush up on your Italian, everybody.
Yes. So this is the Cardinal Protodean.
This is not Parolin.
I believe. No.
Oh,
And we would not expect it to be Parolin at this point. But I do think it probably is Parolin.
Here we go.
Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum.
We just have to wait.
Habemus Papa.
Habemus Papam.
Much like the closing of the doors, you want to make sure people can hear that.
Yeah.
So he's going to give the name.
Eminentissimum. Ac reverendissimum Dominum. Dominum Robertum Franciscum. Sancte Romane Ecclesiae.
Prevost! An American!
Prevost!
Oh.
Yes! American from
Qui
Peru.
sibi nomen imposuit Leonem decimum quartum.
Leo!
Leo the 14th!
Okay.
An American-born Pope.
An American Pope!
That's
Oh my God.
Terrifying.
Peru.
Okay, cool.
Oh my gosh, Gabe was right!
Whoa! Yep, Gabe was right. Gabe is well-earned Gabe because he was
Wow.
getting some flack for that prediction.
Wow. Yeah.
And whoa!
You're gonna bring out the
What?
Cardinal.
All right. So I do have Prevost
Leo the
on my
14th.
cardinal numbers at least written Hopefully,
am
have it
shocked.
recorded. I
Prevost was
do. I
either
do.
first or
All
third
right.
on.
Hey guys, I have a podcast
prediction.
episode on the new Pope. It is in the comments. This is the purpose of
Very
Cardinal
quick.
Numbers, to go give a listen.
Yeah.
It has
An
been produced
American-
in 3 seconds.
All
So
right.
please do me a favor and go
An
ahead and share that
American.
link,
What the
because
hell?
no one else has a podcast episode devoted to the new Pope. I can guarantee you that.
You
Where
don't.
did you-
Yeah. We're gonna
Where's
put
that
one
link?
after the fact.
So
But
spam that around, my
Yeah.
friends, if you would, in the comments. A podcast episode about specifically the new Pope,
this is
Uh-huh.
amazing.
Robert Francis Prevost, aka Leo the 14th,
Yeah,
Not
American born,
Wikipedia has already updated.
U.S. American born.
Amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
The devil works fast, but
I
Wikipedia
wanna
editors
say-
work faster.
I want to say in the Midwest, because like most
Holy
of the Cardinals.
moly.
Damn. All right. And like, not to jump the gun, but how old is he?
He's from Chicago. He is 69. Nice.
Okay.
He was
We
born
got
on the Triumph of the
represented,
Cross. At this
Fry.
point, I'm going to Wikipedia because I don't have every Cardinals stat sheet
That's
memorized,
fair.
and he was not high on the list.
Yeah,
Gabe was
I remember
basically
him
the only
coming
one,
up.
I think.
but-
Wikipedia already has a redirect to Pope Leo the 14th
Yep.
for
yep.
Robert Francis Prevost.
Brilliant.
Although
Love it.
actually it has a
Yeah,
redirect
there's an
to-
extra eye on there.
Yeah, which is now redirected to a proper Roman numeral. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Incredible. Wow. This is a young guy for, the front runners.
This is
He was in the top 10, right?
They're
terms of
making history
capability.
right now.
Oh boy.
I have just received messages in one
So,
chat saying
from
American
Chicago.
Pope, Trump is going to hate it, and another chat saying American Pope, Trump is going to love it.
All right.
We
Yeah.
have the best popes. Yes, of course.
Yes. So interestingly, this is an American Pope who has not weighed in substantially on Trump because it has not been as relevant to him. He's been in Peru, doing Peru things. Now, the thing about trying to pull up the Wikipedia on Robert Francis Prevost right now is that it's just gone to like absolutely nothing because it's redirecting to the new Pope and they haven't written that page.
Ah.
Well, damn.
So that's a ode go
No,
on them.
Wikipedia.
We're waiting for that first appearance.
Again, I do have a podcast episode on this cardinal, on this new Pope. So go ahead and check that out.
So what can you
Please
tell
post
us?
in the
Spark
comments.
Notes version. Yes.
I would love
What's
to
his
give you
deal?
more information.
Yes, give it to us, Greg.
Yes.
Wasn't he involved in a scandal recently? I remember his papability index was lowered because of that.
So his
That's
his
as far as I
papability
know.
index was lowered not because of a personal scandal, but because of Gabe tinkering with his
oh, I see.
formulas.
Okay, that was my bad.
Yes. Yes. But basically, he has been on the dicastery for bishops, so he's the main guy in charge of choosing who the bishops are going to be, and that's interesting because ultimately the Pope is the Bishop of Rome, so he's the guy in charge of choosing the bishops, and it looks like not that the papacy goes through the same process, but effectively he got chosen himself as a bishop, so he has vacated that post, although everyone has vacated their post now and basically gets to be either re-upped or have someone else new in the role.
Oh, I
So
guess
we
he
will
ain't getting
see.
re-upped.
And in terms of his,
Oh.
where he sits within the church, that sort of thing, do you think he's likely to go in a similar direction to the way Francis was going, or what's
Yeah.
the kind of?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think
He's an
was
appointee.
very
of Francis.
interested in being in continuity with Francis.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say definitely Francis leaning, not like as close to Francis as Paroline would have been. So there is a little bit
Yeah.
of distance there. Interesting that we have second Pope from the Americas in a row.
Mhm.
And both North and South American connections. This is a fascinating one in terms of just the global dynamics of it. That Trump connection, like I said, he's not one that's had direct dealings with Trump. Really serving in Peru until being called into the Vatican to the dicastery for bishops. So yes,
Yeah. Also,
USA.
what was
Yes.
the why would you what would you expect from the name Leo?
so
Like,
Leo.
I can't remember what Leo the 13th
Yes,
did. Yeah, like
Leo-
important
Leo is
stuff,
an
but
interesting
it's out
one.
of my head.
So Leo was a social justice pope. So famously,
He
he wrote
really was. Yeah.
Rerum Novarum. Until
that's
Francis,
it, yes.
when you talked social justice in the Catholic Church, you
With-
thought
yeah.
of Leo the 13th. So I do think that we will see again more emphasis on social
Oh.
justice and the poor from a cardinal who had been serving in South America. Does this ring any bells? Well, I can tell you a lot of bells are ringing in in the Vatican, around Rome and around the world. But yes,
14 bells.
so Chicago-born, largely Peruvian serving. He has been in Rome the last couple of years, which is, I would say, helpful to his chances. Pope Francis, one of his last acts, actually, this past February, he promoted Prevost to a cardinal bishop. So he is he has the suburbicarian see of the Diocese of Albano. So normally that would be high enough that he would have a role in, the old school papal coronations. We'll see what sort of hat he has on.
Yeah. It also jumped him up in terms of precedence and seniority of bishop.
Yeah, he's not going to come out with a papal tiara because that would require a papal coronation and, having a tiara ready.
You mean they have a marching band ready, but not a tiara?
Maybe he'll have one of the marching band hats on.
That would be fun.
All right, we're all waiting for you, Leo. Let's see it.
Okay, so I will say, let me look up Peru's flag. Because if I recall, I was talking about the colors of the hats for the marching band.
It is red, white, and red, isn't it?
Yes, so I was eyeing Canada, but still, I mean, that's also a color, that is obviously present in these ceremonies in general. Like the Cardinals are predominantly red and white, but also black highlights. But yeah, so not the completely unexpected colors, but it does largely map. Those are the main colors on the flag of Peru, interestingly. So I will be watching that marching band again next time. But we will be a while before we have a next time. I would say Prevost is going to be Pope for plenty of years. He's 69 again. Nice. Yes.
Also with Francis not being able to retire, that sort of kind of broke the streak a little bit.
He had talked about retiring. He had kind of a retirement letter. But yes, he did not, institutionalize that, right? Because, two is a pattern.
What he said is he openly admired Benedict for retiring, and he thinks it's a great idea for popes to retire, and he was in fact considering very seriously retiring. But it was about 2 years ago he came out and said, "No, I think I'm going to end up dying in the role because the church needs this kind of direction right now."
Yes,
fair enough.
So anyone multitasking and listening to my podcast episode, you know what? I'll go ahead and see if I can pull up that script. It's somewhere in here, but he was one of the earlier ones because he is one of the younger
saying they
cardinals.
can't get onto Wikipedia because it's overloaded with traffic.
Yeah.
We also have a hello from Mayor from the Alexander.
I had mine pulled up already. So.
Oh, hey, Mayor.
Okay, yes, he was one of the very first cardinals that I covered. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the script for my podcast because I assume that you guys want to be listening to this live commentary and the actual feed. So that when we see the Pope, I can stop. But the podcast is out there in the links. If you would do me a favor and spam that around, I would appreciate it. But Archbishop Robert Francis Prevost, OSA, that's the Order of St. Augustine. So I'll skip the my name is Greg part. So let's see. So yes, so I'll just go ahead and start reading my script. So Pope Francis did not list the cardinals in alphabetical age or order. So he was one of the relatively recent Pope Francis elevations. But yes, so it was one that I interrupted my coverage for. So he is American. He was born in Chicago, the Windy City, the 252nd best city in the Midwest, behind every city in Ohio. And that's as far as I got. All right, I'm going to split screen, though. I'm going to split screen.
Here we go.
There he is. Our first look.
Look at him.
All right.
Very
Latin or Italian.
There it is.
Yes.
Wow. See how strong the accent is.
I can't believe all of Ethan and my Chicago talk ended up being
very relevant.
relevant.
What is his opinion on deep dish pizza? That's what we need to know.
We need to know.
I mean, either he's pro it because he's from Chicago or he's against it because he moved from Chicago to Peru. Pretty early on in his ministry. So, yes, Robert Francis Prevost was born on September 14th, 1955. And given his career path, he's probably well aware that he was born on the Feast of the Triumph of the Cross, one of the more medal feasts on the church calendar, tied to Emperor Constantine's mother, St. Helena's apparently successful effort to round up relics in the Holy Land. I will stop when he starts talking. Although he won't be talking in English probably, but he is definitely English fluent. So he will be the most English fluent pope in history, I would say, unless you count Breakspear, whichever pope that was, one of the Nicholases, I believe.
He could presumably speak
from
English
England.
if he wanted, because they have previous popes have spoken in Latin and Italian, right?
Mhm. Yes. Most of the popes recently have been English fluent. That is generally seen as a plus for your candidacy. But
there's the
greater or
Italian
lesser
national
degrees.
anthem. Okay, cool, yay!
Yes.
They played the Vatican one earlier, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. They're doing both. Good.
I think I'm going to let you guys enjoy the waves, not be
Would've been
subjected to
suspicious.
podcast. What I'll do is maybe I'll post my script in the chat.
Well, yeah, for the first 30
yes.
years of his life, as far as I can tell, he lived in the U.S.
Yes,
So.
he went to seminary there.
Greg, this is all good stuff. We are all honestly listening to you. We're just also
Oh
chipping
yeah,
in.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's fine. Yes. So yes, I know you want more information on him. So yes, so oddly, the dating of the tribe of the cross doesn't need to match. All right, so I'm not worried about that. So he had an early connection to the Augustinian order, having graduated from one of their minor seminaries in 1973. You could think of a minor seminary as sort of a training school. He took what I can only describe as a bit of a detour for his undergraduate degree in mathematics at Villanova. So he has a degree in mathematics from Villanova, but I'm sure he has some insights into how that helped prepare him for his future career in the church. I myself remember when my math teacher told me that when I was a priest, I wouldn't need to do algebra. And now that I'm not a priest, it turns out I generally still don't need to do algebra, though I sometimes do it for fun because I'm a weird dude. Anyways, Robert quickly carried on with more churchy stuff, taking his solemn vows as an Augustinian. So he is from the Augustinian order in 1981 at the age of 25.
Microphone.
And he was ordained in
La
1982.
pace sia con tutti voi.
We're waiting
He
for
has
Alberto's
Fratelli, sorelle
translation.
carissimi,
Any chance of a live translation?
questo è il primo saluto del Cristo risorto.
Probably Bree,
Il
if you
buon
can translate
pastore
your
che ha
Italian
dato
better.
la vita per il gregge di Dio.
Not that fast.
Anch'io vorrei che
Umberto?
questo saluto
just need the
di
gist.
pace
The
entrasse
Greet you
nel
in
vostro
peace.
greeting
cuore,
of the
raggiungesse
resurrected
le
Christ.
vostre famiglie,
This
I
is what's
want
called
this
the
greeting to
Urbe
reach
and
your
Orbi.
families
ovunque
and
siano,
all people,
a
wherever they may
tutti i
be,
popoli,
to
a
all
tutta la
peoples,
terra.
to all
La
the earth.
pace sia con voi.
Thank
Peace
you,
be with
Umberto.
you.
Nice.
He probably
And I
won't say much more than that. Like he'll do the address. And
He's had about half an hour to write a speech, so
Thanks, Umberto.
Speed time, no worries.
yes. All right, so yes, so he has multiple, master's degrees. He has a doctorate in canon law, aka church law. And while working on that higher education, he became involved in missionary work in Peru. So that's how he started with his Peru connection, and he'll be very connected there
Questa
for
è
the
la
rest of his life.
pace di Cristo risorto.
This is the peace of the
Una
resurrected
pace
Christ,
disarmata e una pace
an unarmed
disarmante.
peace and an
umile
disarming
e
peace,
perseverante.
humble and perseverant.
Proviene da Dio.
It comes
Dio
from
che ci
God,
ama a tutti
God that loves us all
incondizionalmente.
unconditionally.
Given the state of global
Ancora
politics and war,
Yeah, he's definitely
peace
making
message
nei
makes
nostri
sense.
orecchi
We
quella
still hold our
voce
ears in our
debole
ears,
ma sempre
that
coraggiosa
weak but
di
always
Papa
brave voice
Francesco
of Pope
che
Francis
benediva Roma.
that blessed Rome.
Nice.
Il Papa che benediva Roma
The Pope that
dava la
blessed
sua
Rome
benedizione al
gave
mondo
his
mondo
blessing to the
intero
world, to
quella
all the world,
mattina del giorno di Pasqua.
that morning of the day of Easter.
Consentitemi di dar seguito a quella stessa benedizione.
Allow me to follow up on
Dio
that
ci
same
vuole
blessing.
bene. Dio
God
vi
loves
ama a
us.
tutti
God loves you all.
e il male non prevarrà.
And evil will not
Siamo
triumph.
tutti nelle mani di Dio.
We are all in the hands of God.
Pertanto, senza paura,
So
uniti,
without fear,
mano nella mano
together,
con Dio
hand in
e
hand with
tra di
God
noi,
and among
andiamo
ourselves,
avanti.
let's go forward.
Siamo discepoli di Cristo.
We are
Cristo
disciples of
ci
Christ.
precede.
Christ precedes
Il
us.
mondo ha bisogno della sua luce.
The world needs his light.
L'umanità necessita di lui come il ponte per essere
Humanity needs
raggiunta da
him
Dio e dal
like
suo amore.
as a bridge to be joined by God and his
Aiutateci anche
love.
voi, poi gli uni gli altri, a
Help us, you as
costruire i
well,
ponti
one another,
con
to
il
build
dialogo,
bridges
con l'incontro,
with dialogue,
unendoci
meeting,
tutti per essere un
joining
solo
us all
popolo,
together to be
sempre
one
in
people,
pace.
always at peace.
Grazie a Papa Francesco.
Thank you to Pope Francis.
And a big clap for Umberto here. My God.
Yes. Thank you, Umberto.
Yes, well done, Umberto.
Everybody check out So
Voglio
You Think You Can real quick.
ringraziare
I want to
confratelli
thank my brother Cardinals, volume.
per essere successore di Pietro,
To
di
have chosen me as the
camminare
successor of
insieme
Peter
a voi
and
come
walk together
Chiesa
with you
unita,
like a
cercando
united
sempre
church,
la pace, la
always seeking
giustizia,
peace, justice,
cercando sempre lavorare
always
come uomini
trying
e
to work
donne
together like
fedeli a
men and
Gesù
women,
Cristo, senza
faithful to
paura,
Christ,
per
without fear,
proclamare il Vangelo,
to
per
proclaim
essere
the gospel
missionari.
and to be missionaries.
Amazing. We're watching history unfold. The first American Pope.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
Sono un figlio di Sant'Agostino,
I am a son of Saint Augustine,
agostiniano,
Augustinian,
Yes, he's an Augustinian,
che ha detto
specifically from that
con
religious order.
voi sono cristiano e
that
per
had
voi
said, with you I
vescovo.
am Christian, and
In
for you,
questo
Bishop.
senso possiamo tutti camminare
In that sense, we
insieme
can all walk together
verso quella patria
towards that homeland
la quale Dio ci ha preparato.
that God has prepared for us.
Augustinians are one of the most ancient religious orders in the church,
Alla
actually older than the
Chiesa
Benedictines by some counts.
di Roma, un saluto speciale.
To the Church of Rome, a special greeting.
That's fair. The Pope is the Bishop of Rome. He has global reach, but he
Dobbiamo
is
cercare
specifically the
insieme
Bishop of
come
Rome.
essere una chiesa
We need to see
missionaria,
together how to be a missionary
una
church,
chiesa che costruisce i ponti,
a church
il
that builds
dialogo,
bridges, dialogue,
sempre aperta a ricevere,
Building
always
bridges
come
is
open
questa
to
piazza
receive.
con le braccia
Interesting
aperte
refrain.
a
Like
tutti,
this,
tutti
like
coloro
this
che hanno
square of
bisogno
people,
della nostra
all those who
carità, la
need
nostra
our charity,
presenza,
our
il
presence,
dialogo, l'amore.
dialogue, and love.
The repetition of building
Y se me
bridges,
permiten
Pontifex, one
también
of the titles of the
una
Pope's bridge builder.
palabra, un saludo.
We think.
You can allow me also a greeting, brackets
A
in
todos
Spanish,
aquellos,
to all those,
y en modo
Yes,
particular
certainly.
a mi
especially
querida diócesis de Chiclayo en el Perú,
to
The people in Peru.
the
Yes, that's
dear
fair.
people of Peru, yes.
Yes.
donde un pueblo fiel ha
Where faithful
acompañado
people
a su
has
obispo,
accompanied
ha compartido su
bishop
fe
to
y ha
share his
dado
faith
tanto para seguir
and has given him
siendo
a lot to
iglesia
follow,
fiel de Jesucristo.
continuing being a church faithful to
A
Jesus Christ.
tutti voi, fratelli e sorelle,
To all of you, brothers and
di
sisters
Roma, d'Italia, di
of
tutto il
Rome and
mondo,
Italy, of all the world,
vogliamo essere una chiesa
we want to be a
sinodale,
church,
una chiesa che
a synodal
cammina,
church,
una chiesa che
a church that
cerca
walks,
sempre la
a church
pace,
that always seeks for
cerca
peace,
sempre la carità,
always
cerca
seeks
sempre di essere
charity,
vicino,
always
specialmente
seeks to be
a
close,
coloro che
especially
soffrono.
to those who suffer.
The History of Inca
Oggi-
podcast says Hooray Peru.
That's fair.
Il giorno della supplica
I don't
alla
think the,
Madonna di Pompei.
Today is the day of the supplication to the Lady of Pompeii.
Nostra Madre Maria
Mm.
vuole
Our Mother Mary
sempre camminare con noi,
always wished
stare
to walk with
vicino,
us, stay close to us,
aiutarci con la sua intercessione e
and
il
help
suo
us with her
amore.
intercession and her love.
Allora vorrei pregare insieme a voi.
So I would like to pray with
Preghiamo
you.
insieme
Let's pray
per
together
questa nuova missione,
for this
però
new
per
mission,
tutta la Chiesa,
for
per
all
la
the
pace
church,
nel mondo.
for the
E
peace in the world.
chiediamo questa grazia speciale.
And we ask for the
Di Maria,
special great grace of
Madre.
Mary, our Mother.
Ave Maria, piena di grazia,
Hail Mary,
il
full of
Signore
grace.
è con te. Tu sei benedetta
The Lord
fra
is
le
with thee.
donne,
Blessed art thou
e
among women,
benedetto è
and
il
blessed is
frutto
the
del
fruit of
tuo
thy womb,
seno,
Jesus.
Gesù.
Holy
Santa
Mary,
Maria,
Mother
Madre
of
di
God,
Dio, prega
pray
per
for us
noi
sinners,
peccatori,
now and at the hour of our
adesso
death.
e nell'ora della nostra morte. Amen.
Sorry, I get ahead of the Pope.
It's fine.
I know that one.
Yeah. It was on script there.
You couldn't be sure. He could have changed it at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Yeah,
the
new
Pope.
version, new schism.
Imagine if he
Doesn't count
flubbed
as a
it.
schism if you-
Oh, gee.
I tried to put my
He's
podcast
infallible. It will be
comic,
correct
that's
at
not
that
correct.
point.
It's true. It's true.
okay. I guess that's the speech.
Yes, no, he's definitely rather English fluent. I mean, he grew up in Chicago again.
Il
And
Santo
was he-
Padre Leone, a
The Holy
tutti i
Father Leo,
fedeli presenti
all
e
the
a quelli
presents,
che ricevono la sua
faithful present,
benedizione
and those who receive
a
his
mezzo
blessing
della radio, della
through
televisione
radio,
e delle
television,
altre tecnologie di
and other technologies
comunicazione,
of communication.
concede l'indulgenza
He
plenaria nella
concedes
forma
the plenary
stabilita dalla
indulgence
Chiesa.
in the form established by
Preghiamo
the
Dio
Church.
Onnipotente
Let us pray,
perché
God Almighty,
conservi a lungo il Papa a guida
that he
della
may
Chiesa
conserve the
e
Pope for a long
conceda
time to
pace e
guide the
unità
Church
alla Chiesa
and
in
allow
tutto il
peace and
mondo.
unity to the Church in all the world.
Oh, man.
Imagine what he's feeling right now.
Yeah,
The look of
the
emotions
emotions
there.
on his
It's
face,
Yeah.
man. He's a
Really
world
something.
leader.
Yeah, that's him.
So, got a question about his
That's
outfit
him
choice.
settled.
I think he's a little bit more formal than Pope Francis was, but I'm trying to remember because I think Pope Francis did effectively
Sancti
appear in the same
Apostoli
garb.
Petrus et Paulus.
So he's not, you know,
De quorum
Apostles,
done
Peter,
up, but this
potestates
is also
autoritate
whose power and
continus.
authority we
Ipsi
confide.
intercedat pro nobis
May they
ad
intercede
Dominum.
for us
Amen.
before the Lord. Amen.
Precibus et meritis Beate Mariae semper Virginis.
Yeah,
Beati
praise and merits
Michaelis
to the
Arcangeli.
Blessed Mary,
Beati
blessed
Ioannis
Archangel
Baptiste,
Michael, blessed
et
John the
sanctorum
Baptist,
apostolorum
and
Petri
the
et
saint and
Pauli
holy
et
apostles
omnium
Peter and
sanctorum.
Paul and all others.
Misereatur
saints.
vestri omnipotens Deus.
May they
Et
have mercy
dimissis omnibus
upon us
peccatis
for God,
vestris.
and
Perducat
they
vos
intercede us
Iesus
on
Christus ad
the
vitam
in God,
aeternam.
and may Jesus Christ guide us to eternal life. Amen.
Indulgentiam, absolutionem, et
Indulgence,
remissionem omnium
absolution, and
peccatorum
remission of all
vestrorum.
sins, of all your
Spatium
sins,
vere et fructuose penitentiae,
with
cor
the space of
semper
true and
penitens,
virtuous penitence,
et
with an always penitent
emendatione
heart,
vitae,
and the emendation
gratiam
of
et
life,
consolationem Sancti
grace and
Spiritus,
consolation of the
et
Holy Spirit,
finalem perseverantiam in bonis operibus
and the final
tribuat
perseverance in
vobis
good works. May it give
omnipotens
us
et misericors
the
Dominus.
omnipotent
Amen.
and
Et
merciful God.
benedictio
Amen.
Dei omnipotentis,
And the blessing of the omnipotent God,
Patris, et
Father,
Filii,
Son, and Holy
et
Spirit,
Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos,
may
et
descend
maniat
upon you
semper.
and remain upon you forever. Amen.
Thank you, Umberto.
Hey. There's the statement to the world.
We're all absolved. Hooray.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Thank
Yeah.
goodness I did all those crimes earlier today, and I'm fine.
So, Miss
Thank
you,
Alex,
Umberto,
you
for the
guys have a fact
translation.
check for me.
No
Very
worries.
helpful.
Did come out all in
Good to hear.
white. So
Yes.
this is a little bit more formal than Francis was,
Yeah.
but not we
I-
don't know at
He's
this
not
point
decked
what
out.
The, he,
Yeah,
he
I
doesn't
remember
have
Benedict
the clothes he had
XVI
prepared.
in
He
this
has the clothes
outfit.
that were prepared
Yeah.
for him at this stage.
If I were elected Pope, I'd be like, I need that triple tiara, and I need it. now.
I mean, personally, you know what? I am very much a progressive person in a lot of senses, but when it comes to liturgy and the smells and bells, man, papal tiara, absolutely, I would have that thing.
Fun
I'm
piece.
I'm imagining just like waves of incense, like spreading across, like smoke machines spreading across the square.
It's Pope Chris Angel the First.
I think he's getting ready to go back inside, and when he does, Trevor and I will have to take off.
Yes.
Thank you all for
Fair
being
enough.
here for this.
Yeah, this was
is,
an
pleasure.
incredible moment.
Thank you all indeed,
Yeah.
especially thank you, Umberto.
Definitely,
Thanks so much,
definitely.
Umberto.
You're very welcome.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh,
So we are back to this would be the Vatican's the Holy See's national anthem.
so we're going to depart now. So thank you, everybody. Thanks so much, Greg. I sent you a couple messages on Discord. If you can look at that. Thank you so
Yep.
much. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, yes.
Pope Leo the 14th.
That's pretty fancy. It's been a while. I mean, no, it hasn't been a while since we had one with such a big number. There was Benedict just two popes ago. But
yeah.
But I mean, in lifetime-wise, that was a while ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye, Pete.
Oh, the Swiss guards look
pillars
so cool.
are
That's
so
great.
massive. Like
Yeah.
they make the building is like you're used to seeing churches, and then you go, oh no, this church is like twice the size of the churches that you're used to seeing.
I mean, it's as tall as the Great Pyramid, which is wild.
Do we have an American Pope because the Cardinals wanted Tucci to win in the Conclave 2024?
Yes, absolutely.
If there are any Wikipedia editors in the house, I don't know if a podcast can go on to be a Wikipedia reference, if it has to be.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that podcast is available.
Bree's interview with Pope Michael is on the Pope Michael Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
so
another
I will-
American Pope. That
I'll go ahead
counts.
and put that back in the chat in case anyone has anything that could be.
Yeah, I'm
useful for
definitely
that.
listening to it today because I would like to know a little bit more about this guy.
Yes, and I will go ahead and while we're doing the music, let me see.
Celebrations be had.
Back to
What better
choreography
people
and
to
merriment.
spare? What better people to share this moment with than random strangers on the internet?
Yes, the best people of all are random strangers on the internet.
Well, at least I've met everybody.
All comment
here.
sections have told
Yeah, I
us.
was gonna say,
Like,
I didn't think we were that strangers, you know.
Yeah. We saw each other at an intelligence speech, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good times.
I was very tempted to say, I came to your wedding, but yeah.
Well, that
I
would
was
be
at
shock
the
to
altar.
me.
How dare you?
But let's remind everybody who we kind of are. Let's go reverse order here. So Umberto.
All right, I'll start first. I'm Umberto, one half of the So You Think You Can Rule Persia podcast. We have just finished rating and reviewing all the kings of Persia from Diocles to Yazdegerd III, going through the final rounds. And hey, a caliphate exists now. Who knows what might happen there? We might find out one day.
Give you a little bit less competition.
Yes.
And Umberto is translator extraordinaire, and I am reassured by friends of mine that your translation was much better than the BBC's.
Brilliant. I'm very happy. I'll put that on my
Amazing.
Apparently, they said Pope Leon.
Oh,
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
Their
because
initial-
Leonis. Yes, that's the Latin for Leo. Don't be that guy, BBC.
They did issue a correction moments later.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm John. I'm 1/3 of Primetime Prime Ministers podcast. We're reviewing prime ministers from Robert Walpole to the modern day. So far, we've done about 10, although it depends on what you count as being a prime minister. We've done 3 apocryphal prime ministers. I'm very proud of that. But it's lovely to be here.
Yes. And I will be reading more of my script after we do these introductions.
Well, outroductions, I guess, would be a way to say
Yes.
it. I'm Ethan of Play History. I sometimes have a spot on the Video Game Newsroom Time Machine podcast. I look at video game history. You can find me on Blue Sky at Play History, as well as coin-operated games, as Our Lost Arcade, also on Blue Sky.
Yes. And I am Greg Gassman. I edit Pontifex with Bree and Fry. We have fun there, ranking all the popes from Peter to Leo, the 14th.
Oh,
That's the first time it's been said.
Hey, first
don't do
time.
Yes.
that.
Woo.
Don't do that. And I'm Fry. I go here sometimes.
I forgot Fry was in the room. Sorry, Fry.
Hi. No, you can skip over me.
Fry and me
Clearly I
are
did.
Chicago represent
Yes.
here for the new Pope.
Yes, and the Pope. Chicago. Oh
We
boy.
didn't even do that on purpose. So
I know
weird.
it was a very strange confluence of events. It's just someone
Yes.
talked about the Chicago skyline, and then I just started on Chicago talk.
Yes. And I do also do Popular History, which is history through Pope-colored glasses, as well as the cardinal numbers, ranking all the cardinals of the Catholic Church from the catacombs to kingdom come, which will continue because the cardinals do still have a row. All popes are mortal. Gosh, that sounded more ominous than I meant it to.
Yeah.
But in any
if
case,
anything, they're the ones who have a memento mori somewhere.
Yes.
yes, we will go to the clearly now in need of updating quick bio that I put together for
Yes.
at the time Cardinal
Brilliant.
Prevost. So he did once he was after being born in Chicago, taking his vows as an Augustinian, very ancient order of the church at the age of 25. He was ordained a priest. The following year, in 1982, at the age of 26, he got a master's. His first degree was mathematics at Villanova. I don't know if you guys caught that before. Some people in the audience. And he ended up doing missionary work in Peru. And he kind of stuck around there. So it is just as fair to think about him as a Peruvian cardinal as an American one. You'll note that he did greet Peru. I don't think he gave a specific greeting to the U.S.
No.
So interesting.
No, he didn't. Which I guess is fair enough.
I mean, he's been serving in Peru for decades. He did more recently go to Rome, but I'll go ahead and say he is a bit hard to pin down geographically. And of course, in the end, we don't have to pin him down, except for how fond folks are of exploring the composition of the College of Cardinals, and in this case, the papacy, in terms of how many cardinals each country, quote unquote, has. The early take on that in this case seems to be that Cardinal-elect Prevost counts as a Peruvian cardinal, which makes sense since he ultimately wound up as bishop of a diocese in Peru. And like the Vatican on some of their stuff would have Peru listed in their stats. So he was the bishop of Chiclayo in 2015. He was made the bishop of that diocese. That was when he was consecrated a bishop. So he's been a bishop for about a decade now. He was an apostolic minister, so kind of the guy running the diocese, but not actually the bishop for about a year before that, presumably when the previous bishop had been ailing. And of course, I'm completely skipping the dozen odd years that he spent. He was the global head of the Augustinian order. So that ancient religious order that I was talking about, traditionally founded by St. Augustine himself, right? That's a name that many folks will know. He was the head of that order. I do not have the dates on when he was there because this was a condensed summary. So in 2019, then Bishop Prevost was appointed to the Congregation for the Clergy. That's a Vatican department that basically kind of helps with just different issues with priests. Like I mentioned, he ended up heading the dicastery for bishops. So that is the one that chooses who is going to be bishops or makes kind of those submissions to the Pope. So obviously he's the next up on that chain now. So he'll be the one signing off on new bishops around the world as Pope of the Catholic Church. So the dicastery does help weigh in on which priest would be a good bishop. So he's been doing that kind of role for a number of years. Obviously, Pope Francis liked his work there because he made him head of that office. And this would have been in 2013 because that's when I started this podcast, and it says earlier this year. And so, let's see. In reality, him becoming head, Pope Francis changed it to a dicastery, which is basically a change primarily in name. But yes, there is now the dicastery for bishops that he's part of. And now he is one of the new cardinals as of 2023, elevated by Pope Francis. So that would have been when he was 67, which is about prime age for being elevated to the cardinalate. And then that is where my script cuts off because I have not circled back to him yet because there's a lot of cardinals to try and cover a podcast.
Well, you're going to circle back now.
You're not going to fill in that he was elected Pope
he was elected Pope on the... Sorry, you go ahead and fill that in. You know what? Be my supplemental researcher.
Yes.
On the 8th of May, 2025, he was elected Pope after 4 rounds of voting. That's all I know.
You've done a lot of research, we can tell.
You.
I have just been told that he and my dad have the same birthday.
Oh, trying for the cross. Yes.
When's the birthday? Wait.
September 14th.
September 14th.
September 14th. Fancy.
Different years, though. My dad's not that old yet.
Interestingly, the feast day that he mentioned, I guess it makes sense that he was head of the Augustinian order for a dozen years. The feast day that he mentioned, that Marian feast, is specifically a feast of the Augustinian order. So when he said that, I was like, I haven't heard of that feast. It's Our Lady of Grace, but it's specifically a feast within that religious order. He also did shout out Archangel Michael because that is sort of the feast day for the universal Catholic Church, the average Joe Catholic that's not an Augustinian. He also got a mention in his prayer. So he's aware of, both feasts, but he did lean into that Augustinians. So let me go ahead and dive in more on the Augustinians after I do some research, which is
also another familial connection. David of the Siecla podcast said his dad was in seminary in Chicago at the same time as him. Different schools, since my dad is UCC, but some shared classwork between the different seminaries. Says he didn't know him, but
yeah,
little geographical connection.
Our little Chicago pocket.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So the Augustinians are a mendicant order. So they were originally like hermits. They do trace back very far, certainly to the Middle Ages, and further than that. Although it becomes murky, whether they were actually, founded by Saint Augustine of Hippo. I don't think that that's even their claim necessarily. More like they were inspired by him, although they may actually make that claim. Oh yes. Okay, yes, they do claim that Saint Augustine himself, Augustine of Hippo, did found the order according to the orders.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that does make them older than than Saint Benedict, famously, kind of known as the father of Western monasticism. Parentheses, except this one, because there's hundreds at this point of religious orders, and there's only one that I know of, unless you count the Canons Regular, but I think they're based on the Augustinians. Very, very few that could have a claim to be older than the Benedictines. But yes, they are among that. So, fleeing from the Vandals, swearing off worldly possessions in the process. So, yes, it will be interesting.
My favorite Benedictine fact, since we got close enough that was a tangent I can go on, is that the rule of St. Benedict allows its monks to have a half a measure of wine per day, but we don't know what the word measure means. So
you're half of something. That'll be
exactly. Different places variously translate it as a half a glass, half a bottle, half a vat.
Yes, so I can
have some though. That's nice.
Yes,
Whatever.
So I can at least Wikipedia level confirm that what was in the back of my mind of that the Augustinians are also connected to the Canons Regular, which is basically a huge deal religious order in the Middle Ages. They would be kind of like the cathedral clergy, basically like in that see that main church of a diocese, headed by a specific bishop. There's a number of these sees all throughout the world. At this point, there are about 3,000 of them, something like that. But bottom line, there was a specific religious order that is, the Canons Regular, and they are tied to the Augustinians. It might be an exact 1-to-1. They are the Augustinians, just a bit of a name change. But they would live in the cathedral and just sort of, minister the people around the cathedral, do their prayers and stuff in the cathedral itself instead of off in a separate monastery. So they would basically be living with the bishop, which does make sense with him in his role, in choosing bishops for the world after head.
Great.
So, very much a question of who makes a good bishop. Yes.
You cut out for a second.
Cut out for a moment.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm back.
Yes.
All right. Yes, but yes. So the Augustinian order is tied with the Canons Regular, and I have more specific familiarity with the Canons Regular. I think it was just a name change, but the Canons Regular again would basically live. They would be called the Cathedral Chapter and live in the cathedral. Basically, as sort of like the cathedral would sort of be their monastery. So they would go out and about, and we lost the Vatican feed for a minute there, so it's hitting all over.
I think I'm gonna head out too.
Okay.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wrap up.
Yep.
So
Brilliant.
I can't believe that I was here
I got
for like
other
2
things
minutes,
to head off
and
to.
then
Yeah.
the white smoke came.
Yeah.
I was just so I was just in here
It all
for the rest of the
came
day.
together.
I was just
beautiful
packing
moment.
up at work to get home, and I was like, "Oh God, wait, the white smoke? What do you mean?" Okay, let's run home.
Yes, and I can confirm that the kids that were getting their school lunches served by a school lunch lady, Vice Pope, Mrs. Popular History, everyone did get their lunch, as well as news that there was a pope,
Good.
and the first graders were chanting and cheering because it is a
Amazing.
Catholic school. So
Fantastic.
perfect. And then I put the baby to bed, and then I was able to get on here a couple minutes before.
Thanks
you
so
all.
much
Thank
for
you all. God bless.
running this,
Peace.
Greg. This is great.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thanks
Thanks
for having
for
us.
setting this up.
Glad to see
Peace
it.
is the message, and I am here for it. We saw that message of peace coming from the Cardinals, which is very unusual for the College of Cardinals to be putting out a major statement like that. Not that it was a particularly controversial one to be appealing for peace in the world, but they had like 3 days. It was a couple days before there's a new pope. They decided to go ahead and put that message out there, and the new pope is echoing that, which is not a surprise because the College of Cardinals in general were in favor of that message, and the College of Cardinals, obviously, along with the Holy Spirit, decided that Robert Francis Prevost, now Pope Leo the 14th, is what the church needs now. So, amen. So be it.
Amen.
Presumably the cardinal who was campaigning on